I would wish to also acknowledge the presence of the coordinator, Comrade Mike, the members of the officials of the PTT, Comrade Nomagugu, the fundraiser, the members of the PTT that are present, but we also have the Deputy Minister of Science and Technology, who's also a member of PTT, Comrade Kzn, the Speaker of the Legislature, Comrade Boyce, as well as the Deputy Secretary of the SACP. We also have the members from the civic organizations present here today, members from the CPF, members from the NGOs, various NGOs that are also present. We wish to acknowledge the NPCs and the ratepayers organizations and associations, the women's organizations, and all other non-governmental organizations. But we're also very excited to see that we also have the veterans amongst us that are present, as well as the military veterans organization of the African National Congress. We really wish to acknowledge all of you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and good morning to all of you. Sanborn. Sanborn. Good morning. Namaste. Goeiemorgen. Molweni. It is indeed with great humility and immense appreciation, ladies and gentlemen, that we greet you all this morning today in the name of our Lord and Savior. We wish to welcome all of you to this very important occasion of interacting with the African National Congress. This is the ANC KZN PTT breakfast with civil society. We wish to thank you very much for making your time and honoring this invitation. And we also wish to thank you for your continued commitment to this shared mission of building a better South Africa, a better KwaZulu-Natal, and indeed a better South Africa. Allow me to begin by also saying your presence means a lot to us, because without you, there is no ANC. Without you, there is no leader of the society. Your presence is not just a formality, it is a clear demonstration for your dedication to the people of KwaZulu-Natal, for your dedication to the people of South Africa at large. You remain a pulse to our communities, the voice to the marginalized, the conscious that challenges us to do better. But also we acknowledge that in your organizations you still fight for peace, for justice, for those that are vulnerable. As the ANC, we remain committed to reviving our structures of the South African SANCO, which we believe is the best place to lead the civil society in our country. SANCO has historically played a crucial role in advancing the interest of our people, and we do believe that it is its revival that is essential in rekindling the spirit of every citizen, every grassroots mobilization, to ensure that we are a united people in our country, South Africa. We are under no illusion about the challenges that confront our country. Poverty, inequality, unemployment, and many social ills such as gender-based violence that are plaguing our communities cannot be defeated by government alone. A strong and a dynamic partnership between the state and the civil society is a critical step if we are to turn the tide against all the social ills that we see in and around us. So it is pivotal, ladies and gentlemen, that at a time for reflection, a recommitment, and a renewal, the ANC is seizing this opportunity to deepen the collaboration with the civil society in all the sectors of our society, because we do believe that together we must reaffirm our shared vision to build a united, a non-racial, a non-sexist, democratic and prosperous South Africa that truly leaves no one behind. We're very excited to see many of you who were there in the forefront of this organization, the African National Congress, who were there at the forefront of the mass democratic movement. And I have no doubt that the ANC government and its people, the civil society, and our broader social partners, we will continue to work meaningfully together just to make sure that we put our people first, but also to change the lives of our people for the better. We are partners in this development, and we must now elevate our relationship, elevate the working together with our communities to the heights so that nobody is left behind. So as the African National Congress, we wish to call upon all of you as the civil society to support and embrace our work as the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, as a provincial task team, as we lead the task and rebuilding our movement from the ruins and the challenges that we have suffered. The leadership will speak to you, but mine was to say that you are all welcome. We are well aware of the crime, the lawlessness, which remains a grave concern across South Africa. Many of these challenges have been brought to the fore by the civil society voices, and so rightly. So we recognize and appreciate the efforts that you have put as the civil society in helping to strengthen this democracy, but also to help our criminal justice system. And we must build on this progress that we are all together wanting to champion. So at this time, we cannot ignore a troubling trend, the misuse and the abuse of power by certain groups that represent themselves as oversight bodies, while in reality working to undermine a legitimate work that is being done by the ANC and its government. We need to call upon everybody not to distort our democracy, but the oversight must be the oversight that seek to build, that seek to unite, that seek to build those bridges so that all of us together as South Africans will build a future where our children can look back and say, indeed, our parents did a great job in uniting and building this country for all of us. So let us therefore remain focused in our common goals. Let us walk together, hand in hand, towards a society that is free and with no fear, that is full of opportunities for all its people. And our people deserve leaders like you in this room who would work together without seeking to divide one another, without seeking to outdo one another, but with a view of building each other, with the view of piecing those pieces that are dividing us for the sake of this country, for the sake of our children, and for the sake of everyone. With this word, we're saying together, let us rise together, let us build, let us triumph, but also let us renew the hope that indeed when we are together, we can do it. Ngalamazwi, sifisa ukunamukela nonke, sinibonge nonke, siyabonga.
Thank you very much, Comrade Deputy Coordinator, Comrade Nomusa Dube-Ncube. I will now invite the Provincial Coordinator, who is going to double up and do both tone setting for the engagement and also the main message to you. Thank you. Comrade Mike Mabuyakhulu.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Good morning to you all. Sanbonan, Moloane, Abshane, Nibogega kahle kodwa. Program Director, the first Deputy Convener of the ANC PTT in KwaZulu-Natal, Comrade Wezwetusi, the Deputy Coordinator, Comrade Nomusa Dube-Ncube, the fundraiser, Comrade Nomagogo Smelane Mngadi, the Speaker of the Legislature here sitting next to her, who is also a PTT member, Ms. Nontembeko Boyce. She is the Speaker of the Provincial Legislature. Next to her is the Deputy Minister of Science and Technology that has been already introduced, Ms. Nomalunga Lukina, seated there. We have members of the PTT that are here amongst our midst, because I haven't seen some of them in the sense that I'm combining the two input. Can I request members of the PTT just to stand up wherever you are? I had seen Ravi Pillay. He was here, okay. No, he's not gone. He's still fixing something from outside. Siabo. Okay, so thanks. We rise to express the ANC's gratitude to all of you for taking time and braving this inclement weather to be with us this morning. Indeed, we are humbled. Guided by a 70-year-old injunction contained in the Freedom Charter, the founding document for the current democratic dispensation, the ANC holds dear the assertion that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white. We gather here not as strangers, nor as distant observers of our country's path, but as comrades and compatriots in a shared struggle. We meet at a time that demands honesty, bravery, and humility from all of us. This is a time of renewal, not only for the ANC, but also for our collective purpose, our moral commitment to serve, and our promise to future generations. The ANC is of the people and one with the people. We are here today because we recognize the inescapable truth that the renewal of the ANC cannot and will not happen in isolation from the people. The ANC was born out of civil society, and its destiny is inseparable from that civil society. The rebuilding of our movement must be a collective project rooted in communities, in the churches, in NGOs, in CBOs, in the streets, in the union halls, in youth formations, and in the dreams of ordinary men and women. We have never lost hope in the promise of a better life for all. As President Nelson Mandela once succinctly put it, our people have a right to expect that those who serve them do so with honesty and dedication. The ANC must never lose its character as a movement rooted among our people, close quotation. As the ANC, we must accept that we have experienced the sins of incumbency, and at times we may have missteps. Fellow compatriots and activists, the ANC has been the trusted bearer of the people's aspiration for 113 years. And from the trenches of struggle, through the dark years of apartheid to the dawn of democracy, the ANC has always been more than just a political party. It has been a people's movement. But in recent times, we must admit with humility and courage that we have experienced some missteps and may have committed tactical errors. If these mistakes were committed by other parties, nothing would have been made of them. But because the ANC is correctly held to a higher standard, these are a cause for concern, and that we as an ANC accept and admit those mistakes. We accept the responsibility that comes with our position, understanding the saying, heavy lies the head that wears the crown. This is why we say with absolute clarity, renewal is not a buzzword. It is a moral, ethical, and political imperative. To us, renewal will be seen in our character. It will be heard in our voices. It will be felt in our conduct. It will reflect in the manner in which we lead and serve our people. Renewal means refocusing the ANC to its core mandate, that of being the liberator of our people. It means bringing back the spirit of service, humility, and discipline. It means returning to the core values of the ANC, selflessness, accountability, unity in action, and solidarity with the oppressed. But we cannot walk this journey of renewal alone. Fellow activists, the biggest motivation behind all decisions of the ANC is advancement of the objective to build a just, equal, and equitable, prosperous, and united society. Put differently, we exist to serve our people, irrespective of color, creed, status, or geographical location. And following the setback we suffered at the polls last year in 2024, we did not throw a tantrum, but sought to find the best way to bring stability to our province and to serve our people. It was both the mandate we carry and the objective conditions on the ground which saw us form the government of provincial unity in KwaZulu-Natal. Fellow compatriots and activists, if we learned anything at all from the 2021 July unrest, it was that if issues are not brought under control timelessly, these can quickly escalate into a disaster from which recovery is quite difficult. In fact, so swift we were to conclude a coalition government deal in this province that the Government of National Unity Agreement was concluded after hours in KwaZulu-Natal. We further want to underscore the point that despite the recent developments at the national government level, the Government of Provincial Unity in this province is not only stable, but is also seized with the task of building a better province and delivering services to our people. Where there are differences among the Government of Provincial Unity partners, a mechanism has been developed to resolve such differences. So as we delve deeper into the work of the Government of Provincial Unity, new issues may arise, but there are enough measures in the agreement to address even those issues that the original coalition agreement may not have contemplated. Indeed, there is stability in KwaZulu-Natal. We regard the GPU as a very important tactical site of struggle. In this regard, our commitment to the GPU is unwavering. Building the local government that catalyzes economic development. Fellow citizens, we have made great strides in building a truly united and democratic society since 1994. With the activism, agitation, and contribution from civil society, we've been able to build a society markedly different from the one we had in 1994. And in the main, it has been the change for the better. However, there are challenges. Most of these challenges manifest themselves at a local government level. As the ANC, there are key issues that we have identified as being critical to fixing local government in KwaZulu-Natal. We are prioritizing local government because it is both the location and determinant of economic growth and development initiatives. These issues include the roads and stormwater maintenance, that we want to see us attending to roads and stormwater maintenance in all our municipalities, where we govern and even where we don't govern. Where we don't govern, we have to take up these issues with communities when they raise them. But where we govern, we must ensure that we are able, that we do whatever it takes to focus on those issues. The issues of solid waste management, the general infrastructure maintenance, electricity load reduction, addressing electricity and water debts, the issues of disaster management, and improved access to water. The ANC is serious about building functional local municipalities that serves all its citizens as required by law. In pursuit of this, we'll be supporting our municipalities while ensuring that we have accountability sessions with communities. Hence, we appreciate meeting with you here because many of you play a role of ensuring that there is accountability. And we accept that we must be accountable, and that there is absolutely no way you can lead institutions of public and therefore we don't become accountable. But we want to build a relationship, the one of cooperation rather than an adversarial one, but also the one that allows you to speak without fear or favor in tackling issues that need to be tackled. So we expect both ethical and corruption-free behavior in all the municipalities where we govern. And indeed, where such is existing or alleged to exist, we have a duty to investigate this. The role of the Presidential Anc Kzn Working Group. Fellow activists, as our nation expands and new challenges arise, we must refine our responses to effectively address these issues. The Presidential Anc Kzn Working Group is a significant initiative developed by our President, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa. It was launched in the Anc Kzn municipality after discussions between the President and the various stakeholders, including business and including organs of civil society. The success of this Presidential Anc Kzn Working Group, shortly called PAWEC model, has led to its replication in other parts of the country, including the city of Johannesburg in the recent times. This initiative is barely a year old. The success of PAWEC initiative is not based on our mere assertions, but on facts. For example, business confidence has improved from a low of 45% to over 60.7% in the fourth quarter of 2024. The Metropolitan Anc Kzn municipality has entered into an agreement with Umngeni Uthukela Water for the operation and maintenance of its 10 largest wastewater treatment works, which account for 90% of the wastewater treatment. And the final effluent compliance has improved from 49% in 2023 to 68% in 2024. Now, this is just but a few of the highlights. But we will have accountability sessions. And I say this in my capacity as the co-chair of the Presidential Anc Kzn Working Group, that we will have a separate session to come and meet with all of you as ratepayers to be able to give you a detailed, so that you engage us without fear, without favor. So as PAWEC executes its task, new unforeseen challenges have sprung to the fore. That is why last week we hosted a 2-day strategic planning session, and we call it an action lab, targeting the areas where we have not seen sufficient cadence in the progress in those areas. In these labs, all social partners participate towards finding a long-lasting solution, unlocking progress. It is therefore important, ladies and gentlemen, that in Anc Kzn, we must say that we are committing to a broad-based partnership framework where the Council must approve an enabling catalytic partnership with the private sector and other stakeholders on key infrastructure projects. We also want to resolve some of the issues that have been there, like your Go Durban, which there has been a huge investment to the tune of about 9 billion rand. We are doing everything it takes to ensure that by the end of June, there should be some progress that is visible on the ground. So we are actually hard at work. It is not just sheer rhetorical talk, but work is also happening behind the scenes. Compatriots, while not being perfect, the pair work provides a glimpse of what we can achieve if we work together as partners. This is what the ANC wants. The role of civil society. Civil society is neither a referee nor a spectator in the struggle to build a better society. It is a critical player. It is certainly not a political formation and therefore does not play the role of political opposition. It is not a praise singer for those in power. It is apolitical, but it is for justice, for equality, for stability, and the general well-being of our people. It is a guardian for our cherished democratic project. So as the ANC, we need civil society to work with us, to challenge us, to guide us, and to remind us of our purpose. We need your voices, not to sing our praises, but to hold us accountable. We need you to speak truth to power, to bring the real issues of the people to the table, the cries of hunger, the pain of joblessness, the trauma of gender-based violence, the frustration of young people who are educated yet unemployed, the fear of crime, and the loss of hope in many communities. As former ANC President Oliver Tambo once warned, I quote, "A nation that does not take care of its own children is a nation without a future," close quote. The ANC and civil society can and should form a formidable partnership for progress. Fellow compatriots and fellow activists, the ANC was never a fortress that stood apart from the people. It was always embedded in society, in the classrooms, in the factories, in the churches, and on the front lines of protest and sacrifice. So the ANC always knew when there were difficult times, the people became the forest that protected our struggle. We still believe in that even today. We are a movement of the masses, grounded in the wisdom of ordinary people. We're not a movement of the elite. The UDF, COSATU, and SANCO, the student organization, and progressive faith-based and civic movements formed the backbone of the mass democratic movement that shook the foundations of the apartheid. Let us return to that spirit. Let us once again build a powerful, ethical, and united force for social transformation with civil society as our equal partner. As the 66-member provincial task team, we recommit ourselves to building and maintaining these vital bridges. We will open more space for meaningful dialogue and engagement with all sectors of society. We want to listen, not just with our ears, but with conscience and commitment. We want to move from consultation to co-creation, where your ideas, experiences, and concerns inform our programs and policies. We are advocating for us to be co-creators and not adversaries. In a nutshell, co-creation is the primary defining feature of the relationship we want to build. Over the past 31 years of democratic rule, we have observed a growing chasm between ourselves and some of the community-based and civil formations who have always been our trusted allies. At times, our relationship has become adversarial. Yet, in the past, even as we disagreed, we understood that we shared similar objectives, and we just happened to differ on tactics. This morning, we want to reaffirm that the ANC has never abandoned its principles, that the pursuit of a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, just and prosperous society still drives us even today. Fellow activists, renewal will translate into clean governance. It will translate into responsive and ethical leadership. It will lead us to a cadre that is grounded, that is selfless, that is unafraid to stand up for what it is right, even when it is unpopular. We are building a movement that is honest enough to confront its weaknesses and brave enough to change course when necessary. And fellow activists, we know what our people want. The people of KwaZulu-Natal and South Africa at large are yearning for a mass democratic movement that cares about delivering water to dry villages, restoring dignity to the homeless, opening doors to learning for our children, and fighting crime and gender-based violence with urgency and empathy. This must therefore become our rallying call. To do this, we need the unity of purpose. They want all the progressive forces to work together. Indeed, the challenges we face demand unity of purpose amongst us. Unity is not the absence of differences, but the presence of shared purpose. In every municipality, in every ward, in every community, let us strive to unite the forces of progress. Let us not be divided by petty politics when our people are crying out for service, dignity, and justice. So the purpose of this engagement, ladies and gentlemen, fellow comrades and compatriots, the purpose of today's engagement is mainly about three main things. First is to formally introduce the new leadership of the ANC to civil society structures and to commit that we will now be engaging with you on an ongoing basis. Second, that the ANC is extending a hand of partnership to the civil society and say, let's be co-creators and not be adversaries. Let's walk this journey together. Where we differ, we must differ with respect with one another, but we must know that we have one common purpose: to serve our people and to serve our country. The third is laying the foundation for the conclusion of a social compact between the ANC and civil society structures. We need to be able to reach a point where we have a social compact, that because all of us want to do the things that our people want, we will work together and cooperate in serving our people in our nation. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, fellow activists, compatriots, we want to say this without ambiguity, that the ANC belongs to all the people of our country. Its strength does not lie in slogans or historical nostalgia, but in the lived trust of the masses. That trust must be earned not once, but every day through our integrity, through our conduct, through our policies, and the way we lead. Today must mark the renewal of the relationship between the ANC and civil society in all its facets. When we say civil society, we understand that amongst you, you will have the ratepayers, that amongst you, you will have civic organizations, that amongst you, you will have the CBOs, community-based organizations, that amongst you, you will have non-governmental organizations, that amongst you, you will have structures such as the community policing forums, and many, many other facets of civil society. But for the purposes of this morning, we all call you as a sector of civil society. So, we want therefore to renew and work with you. We want to do this not for convenience, not for appearances, but for the rebirth of our common dream, the dream of a South Africa that is free, just and prosperous for all. And let us go forward in hand with one message. The ANC and the people must be one, must be one and indivisible block. Let the church, the youth, the women, the workers, the educators, and the development and cultural activists, and all progressive civil society formation once again find their voice within this movement. It should be possible for you to approach us as the leadership of the ANC, not only at a provincial level. We want to calculate this throughout, the structures of the ANC, regional level, the zonal level, the branch level. And that is where we want to say, when there are problems, you should be able to actually come and say to us, but you are not doing well here. And where we are doing well, you should also have the courage of telling us, you are on the right path. We don't want you to mollify us, but we want you to work with us, and work with us in respect. But we also want you to know, we are the truly having the interests of our people at heart as the ANC. So let us all recommit ourselves to the noble goal of building a national democratic society. And from here going forward, the ANC is truly grateful that you have been able to grace this breakfast. As I said, this is the beginning of many more engagements that shall follow. We thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mike. You've really set the tone, and it's now an opportunity for all of us to talk to the leadership here. Comrade Mike said you must discuss without fear. Talk to the leadership so that we're able to hear what you want to say to us and listen and do what we're supposed to do. We're going to give each speaker 3 minutes. Each speaker will introduce herself, her name and surname, and then we'll start talking. I have the speaker here who is an experienced cadre in monitoring and timing people. So nobody is going to go above 3 minutes. Okay. All right, we will start the side. One side first, Pam. 3 minutes each. Here's the speaker. Please introduce yourself. 3 minutes each. Here, Pam.
Right. Good morning to the leadership of the ANC. And firstly, I want to express my thanks for this engagement. My name is Dr. K. Naidu, the president of the Verulam Child Welfare Society. The point I'm going to raise is related to social welfare services. We had a cut in our subsidy in the region of 22,000 Rand a month. And obviously for our survival, we have to fundraise, which is our core business of the management board. The point I'm trying to make and I'm going to bring to you is that we have a project called the Verulam Charity Fair, which has been running for over 35 years in our community. This particular project, I can say, brings us something like 500,000 rand to serve the community. On the 11th of February, we wrote to the eThekwini Parks and Gardens for the use of the Verulam Recreation Ground. We received a positive response from them to say that we will be allowed the use of the ground for the charity fair for the Easter weekend, which is, in fact, this week. We then received another response a day later, which said to us that, unfortunately, I'm revoking the letter that I sent to you yesterday regarding the use of the ground. And they gave some reasons, like their soccer fixtures over the Easter weekend, etc., which has happened in the past. We then sent an appeal letter to eThekwini to make an appeal that, look, we have to raise funds. And as a result of this, we have to use the ground to set up for the charity fair. We had no reply from them. They referred this letter to somebody higher up, but we had no reply to them to this year. Now, this puts us in a very difficult situation financially, because one must remember that every cent we raised is plowed back to the community, and we are community workers. So that's the first point that I want to make about how we are treated by municipality in terms of use of a facility. The other point very, very quickly is they charge us, if we had use of the ground, they charge us 8 rand per square meter for use of the ground. And remember, we are a community organization. Funds are plowed back to the community. For us, it translates to about 160,000 rand that we have to pay for the use of the ground. But as I stated, this year we have not been granted permission to use the ground. We then wrote another letter to eThekwini asking them for use of the Mount View Civic Center to run a project next year. We haven't even received a reply from them. We haven't even received a reply from them. In summary, the point that I'm trying to make is that we are raising funds for the community. And obviously, there needs to be a collaboration and a partnership in terms of this. We shouldn't be paying, we should be granted permission for the ground, and we should be working together. We should be working together with the municipality. I want to also hasten to add that in Stanger, the KwaDukuza municipality, the president told me they don't pay a cent for use of the ground for their fair. How then do we have double standards, where some communities are paying, they are refused use of the ground, and some are not paying? I thank you, and I'm hoping that this is going to raise an investigation, because I raised this issue at the coastlands in Durban last year sometimes. And I know people like Comrade Ravi Pillai and so on were there. But nothing happened. So I'm disappointed, and I'm hoping that this forum does something about it, and we are able to have our fair next year, 2026. I thank you.
Thank you. Any other hand from the side? There's another hand here, there.
Good day. My name is Andisha Maraj. I am the facilitator of the Ottawa Environmental Forum. I used to be a very staunch believer in the ANC until I started noticing the decay, because our requests appeared to fall on deaf ears. We in Ottawa have been having an ongoing issue with non-delivery of services, especially the most basic of all is our water. This is extending like 10, 15 years and has nothing to do with the rains and the damages that have happened. Those are excuses that we are fed with on a daily basis. One day it's turbidity in the dam, the next day it is about the pipes being damaged or there are leaks. These kinds of excuses do not synchronize and add up for us. We hear of our neighboring communities who have access, but we in Ottawa, a little village cannot be taken care of by the eThekwini municipality. And we talk at macro level of building fast trains, going and engaging on macroeconomic programs. When we hear Your people who put you all in power can't service us. I think that kind of change must happen from ground level coming up. We cannot motivate people at ground level to vote for ANC when there is no service delivery as basic as water. Thank you.
Another hand next to her.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Him
much.
behind you, there's another hand. Go
Thank
and
you
stand
very
there.
much, Chair. I'm Shah Maraj. I'm from Phoenix. Phoenix Working Committee I represent here today. I firstly want to congratulate the leadership who is there. And I think the last speaker from the podium very nicely summarized the purpose of this meeting and why the engagement is happening, which I think all of us appreciate. I think I'm very happy that this must not be turned into a complaint session. Because all of us have complaints. We've heard all of it before, and I'm not sure what purpose is going to be served by complaining again at this meeting here. All of us know, and the challenges which was spoken about earlier on is what the challenges are. So I'm very happy to learn that there's going to be engagement from the leadership who is here with civil society, with a view to trying to resolve the problems all of us know. Let's not talk about it again and again and again and go nowhere. So I'm very, very happy that there is commitment that this engagement is going to happen continuously. 2026 is coming up. So the community rather see changes that the lady and other people are talking about. I myself have come into this organization while it was still banned, not now. There are many who have come in after 1994 and who are now claiming to be champions, which is good, fine. We have come into this organization pre-1994, in the 80s. We have been born into this organization, we grew into this organization, and we won't abandon this organization. When there are problems in your house, fire is burning, don't run away, try and off the fire. Try and off the fire and repair the house. So this renewal program fits into that. Let us look at what can we do to repair whatever damage. There is damages, we shouldn't deny it, and I think the leadership is very good to have acknowledged this and committed themselves to make sure this actually happens. Now in KZN, and especially the municipality in Ezekwini seems to be the key role player which is causing mayhem here. I also belong to civic associations and welfare organizations, like that man said. And a simple thing like allowing somebody to use a sports field, it's ridiculous to ask an NPO to pay as much. Phoenix Child Welfare, which I also belong to, President, we are having that fun fair next month. We're being asked to pay 260,000 rands to use a sports field. The municipality is fraught with problems, and let me speak honestly to the leadership here. You already know this, but I'm telling you now. We can have the best policies there, which people down here is complaining about. In the middle, you have the municipalities and the officials of the municipalities. There is no will by the officials of the municipality to implement your policies. Therefore, we are having problems. Therein lies the problems. And if you don't know, many of the municipal officials, and I would think some councillors too, this is the truth, have jumped ship. And they now joined a so-called new political party, using council resources to promote them. If you don't believe it, go and see. I was there, I know. That's why I'm telling you. So therein lies the problem. So we can have very nice policies which all of us agree on, but to implement these policies, you need the officials of the councils. There is no will by them to make sure your policies gets implemented. Why? Next year is coming because they are trying to save the jobs. I've been told by a good friend of mine, if I don't jump ship, I'll lose my job come next year. So the bad name is going to come to the ANC because you're running the municipality. Your officials are in tune with somebody else. So I think That's the nub of what the problem is. We can have the most beautiful policies. It can't be implemented if you don't have people to implement it. And right now, there are serious challenges which you know about, which you must begin to sort out. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Askhulegen Bageti. I'm starting this side, then I'll come to the middle and then that side, on the left-hand side. Okay.
Greetings, Sanbonani. Ngosikhona kaMpungoselo, uqhamuka ka-Civil Society, uchairperson wala eThekwini. I think ukubaleka kakhulu, one must welcome a presentation and remarks that has been made by leadership. But engiphathiswe kona mina kuncane. Into emnandi kakhulu ke program director ukuthi umuntu ukhule la kunina walida nani sayengane. So ezinye izinto engizozisho is just a reminder. Akuyona into entsha le. Number one, bayakhala abafundi. Bayakhala abafundi from tertiaries. Bayalicela usizo ukuthi bathole i-support. We've been fighting ama-blessers and all of these things, but I told opportunity when leadership start to look aside. Engasana kwama students. Siyacela nivale leyo gap leyo. Okunye okukhala abakhala kakhulu abantu abasha ngakho. Siyacela mandla ukuthi I'm not sure whether it ibizwa ngokuthi abaleka legama le-English. Is it by law noma, but siyacela lento leyo ukuthi every 3 months fanele wenze icopy entsha yakho in 3 months. Khona abantu abalimazayo lento le mase kufanele ba-apply izinto. Angazi ukuthi how can we look into this. Masenza ama-copies ukuthi copy ya expire after 3 months. Incane ungayithatha simple wena mhlambe, but iyamshaya umuntu omusha lento le. Every 3 months wenza icopy entsha. Mhlambe akube once noma twice a year, but every 3 months and imali lento le. Siyacela ukuthi niyibuke incane izinto ezenza ukuthi abantu bayibone bengasanakekile. Singayibuka incane but ibaleka kakhulu lonto lo. Siyacela ukuthi niyibuke kakhulu bandla, so that sibone ukuthi yini into esingayiseva, useve lelo shumi lelo for isinkwa, then ukuthi every 3 months le shumi ulisebenzisa ukuthi uhambe uapply. Okubaleka kakhulu ke sike sathi ukuphoxeka kakhulu masibona ama social ills ekhulu emphakathini, the likes of ucwecwe and many other GBVs. President wethu wasenzela something eceleni wathi there will be $1 billion of some sort to address the issues of gender-based violence in South Africa. Here we are still facing issues every day khona into eyenzakalayo. And we come with nice policies, I think useshilo mfowethu. But kubukhulu kwa-implementa if civil society is not invited on the table to actually implement these things. The government cannot do this thing alone. Siyacela ukuthi every time I design something, njengoba senenzile, come back, nisho ukuthi nathi into sesidesignile, anisilekeleleni siyenza kanjani lento le moving forward. Because manizoyenza not thina sesizo-supporta kuphela, ekugcineni ihambe into ifeyile kube ngathi manje ugovernment udesign izinto ifeyile angakwazi ukuthi abuyele back ezosho ukuthi silemaleke iblend njengoba ingasasebenzi. Siyacela ukuthi i-consultation iqhubeke njalo, ungabe ukuthi once in the while. Sicela ukuyibona yenze kanjalo. I think usekushilo umfowethu ke the issues of water baby ngizokhuluma kakhulu ngakho, but ngicela mhlambe on the water part ngicela ukumonga uMEC waka health. Ngiyazi ukuthi awugqokile isigqoko sakho namhlanje mama, but when the issue yasemshiyeni came and we wrote the letter to you MEC complaining, and awuzange usibone njengabantu abeyisayo, but wasithatha serious wathi cha ngizoya address issue and eventually wakazi ukuya khona address. Sifuna ama leaders kanjalo ukuthi when we see izinto on the ground and mase sikubhalela asilwi nawo njengo civil society, but we are saying please look at what we are seeing on the ground thina njengabantu benu, and mase sikubona uresponda then ke siyaqala sibe ne-interest yakho as a leader sibone hayi engathi uyakwazi ukulalela uleadership lapha phambili. So thank you so much. Ngicela ukuthi siqhubeke kanjalo sikwazi ukuthi silekelelane. Thank you.
Another hand at the back. The gentleman and in the same table, and then the gentleman. Okay. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Jacques Popart from the Umhlanga Ratepayers and Residents Association and an Umhlanga businessman. To the provincial coordinator, firstly, I'd like to say, as a businessman in Umhlanga, thank you for your assurances about the stability of the government of provincial unity here in KZN, and for that I think we should give you a round of applause. As business in KZN, it's critically important that KZN government works, and we are very impressed by how it has been working up until this point, and I do really appreciate that and hope that the GPU is stable regardless of the provinces of the problems in the GNU. In the wild, a GNU, a wildebeest, has a lifespan of 20 years. In politics, we don't know how long it's going to be, but we're very happy it's working currently. So thank you to the ANC for being the adult in the room quite often and for being responsible and staying the course. And as a businessman and as from the Ratepayers Association, we would say stay the course. It's always going to be challenging. You never want to be in this relationship, I'm sure, but you're in this relationship. And for the greater good of the country, for every single citizen, 60-odd million people, please stay the course. And it's not about any one political party. It's about every single person. And turning locally to home, here in eThekwini, those of us that live here know it's the most beautiful city in the country. I don't care what you say about Cape Town. It is absolutely beautiful. But you have to agree, if you live here, I've lived in Umhlanga for 25 years. Service delivery is a challenge currently. If you don't believe that, you're lying to yourself. Let's be honest, it's a significant challenge. Service delivery is a problem. The water issue is a significant challenge. I can see my house from here. I live down here below Herwood Drive. Every single night, if I haven't showered by 9 o'clock, there's no water. Because Umhlanga 2 reservoir is turned off every single night to fill up, so there's water for the next day for businesses. Because we do not have enough water coming into the north. It's a fact. If you read the turnaround strategies from eThekwini municipality, it is absolutely shocking what should be happening, but what isn't happening. You know, South Africa as a country, we are excellent. We are excellent at formulating policy. We are excellent at identifying problems. We are excellent in saying what needs to happen to fix the problem. But where we fail dismally is execution. Absolutely dismally. We know what should be done, we're just not doing it. Because the problem is, it comes down to accountability and it comes down to consequence management. I'm a private sector businessman. If a member of my staff doesn't do what's expected of them, there's accountability. As a business, as a managing director, if I don't do what's expected of me, there's accountability. Shareholders hold us accountable. We lose our jobs. It doesn't happen in government, unfortunately. In the municipality, where doesn't matter at what level, senior, mid-management, management level, if they are not doing what's expected of them, they need to be held accountable. There must be service delivery, and there must be accountability, and there must be consequence management. Please, if I can encourage you, if nothing else, enforce consequence management so that the residents of eThekwini get what they deserve and get what we're paying for. In terms of what we're paying for, it leads me to a very painful point, which is the proposed increases in the percentage of rates, electricity, and water. It's absolutely shocking. eThekwini, we pay some of the highest rates, water and electricity, in the country. We pay more than double Johannesburg's rates, significantly more than double of Cape Town's rates. It's ludicrous, yet we are seriously challenged with service delivery. In the city of Cape Town, I was shocked to read the electricity proposed increase, I think is 2.5%. In eThekwini, it's 15.5%. You cannot justify that. So please, what happened, I recall what happened in the last budget. It was steamrolled through. I went to meetings as the Ratepayers Association. We had representation. There was stakeholder engagement. It was a tick box exercise. And these ludicrous percentages were pushed through. People cannot afford them. You've already had challenges that came out of Westville where they refused to pay rates and it went to court. We as Umhlanga said, we're not doing that. It's not the right thing to do. That's not how you fix the problem. But many of our residents wanted not to pay rates. We said, don't do that. There must be a better way. So we're giving the problem back to you. Help us, help our residents, help your citizens. You cannot allow this city to push through these ludicrous increases, 15.5% of water, ridiculous figures for rates, and ridiculous figures for water. We trust you. Please don't let us down. Thank you.
The young gentleman.
Greetings, everyone. Good morning. My name is Zetembe. I'm from the Verelem community. I'm under the Verelem Civic Association. I'm part of the executive leading the youth aspect. So Verelem in the north is surrounded by various communities, including Waterloo, the one I'm from. Firstly, I'd like to thank for such an engagement. It's very important. Thank you so much for this. I see a lot of good coming from this in future. There's been a lot of good interventions from government that we're seeing. Government is coming to communities, and educating our people from funding programs like we had the women fund that was allocated for women around KZN 200 million, I think. We saw government officials coming and explaining in various townships, communities, and so on. So there's a long list that I could name of good things that we are seeing from this the ANC government. Very, very good work. And then there's some things that I'd like to mention, that there's always room for improvement. From our clinics are struggling. It doesn't make sense how a clinic can be short-staffed. It's really concerning. I'm from the Waterloo community. Our matron, they are now called nursing managers, Miss Sandy Moodley, with Mrs. Nomusa Mteto. They are struggling. Sometimes they leave the clinic at 7 o'clock. There's various issues. There's issues with your ambulances. A woman is pregnant, she's there at the clinic, they'll have to call the ambulance will arrive at 5:30, 6 o'clock, they have to wait. But they're supposed to knock off at 4:30, I think. Sometimes you'd see the matron herself holding the mop because the cleaner lady is overwhelmed with work. It's something that I've seen, and sometimes I go there and volunteer to clean in the clinic myself, I clean the clinic, I do the garden work outside because I can see how overwhelmed they are. We fundraise for things like plumbing and so on for our clinic. And it's the case for most of the clinics here in the north that I've seen. Clinics are short-staffed. You hear that, no, it's a temporary clinic under the metro, so the metro has to approve the budget. When we go to the metro will say, no, the provincial leadership is taking over the clinic, so they cannot hire more staff. So it's oblivion. We need a solution on that one, because you'll know that our foreign nationals also need the clinic. So you find the clinic now is serving triple or double the number it's supposed to be serving. All those numbers, they are unaccounted for, and we have to embrace that. We have foreign nationals, we have to support them, because if they don't use the clinics, like your HIV issues and so on, you'll have a problem. And another thing, I think, leaders, please educate our people that through this Mr. Donald Trump saga and him not funding our health and so on, there's rumors spreading. People are scared, feeling that there'll come a day where they'll run out of medication and they'll all die. It's things that are happening. Our people need more intervention. I've heard, but from radio stations like Ukhozi FM, Izulu Mzansi, they're educating our people, but more needs to be done. It's something that they always speak about, that we're gonna die anyway. Maybe by next year we won't have medication, you know? And those people come to us. They come to me, I have to keep on explaining. You hear them talking about it in the taxis, that they're gonna run out of medication, they are panicking because they need this medication to survive. So we have those problems. We have issues of our women. Yes, I would like to give a bit of hiding to our women. Our women are not taking the medication, like if someone is positive, they're not taking the medication to make sure that the child is born negative. We have a very huge problem of that. And we don't have enough resources to spread that information. Because by 2030, government said this thing will come to an end. But we are having those problems. Our women are not taking it. It's there, it's free. But there seems to be a problem somewhere, somehow. I'm not judging, but it's room for improvement. I think we need to do more work as activists. And another thing I'd like to raise is, I think you need to call our black business people, you leaders need to call them and educate them about some things. I'm not trying to be racist or divide us, but I come from a community where it's mostly black and Indian. You find that on their side, they'll form things like civics and fund them from their pockets. They'll form things like Verulam Charity Welfare. It's NGOs for social work and so on. And they put from their pockets. In our communities, we have millionaires as well. Taxi owners, they make loads of money. We have tenderpreneurs in our community, millionaires, multimillionaires, living next door to us. But you'll never see them investing in our community. They don't plow back. How do you want to make business in an unhealthy society? They're not coming to the party. I always have to go and beg them and beg them and beg them. I see Mr. Loki Naidu here. I've called him a couple of times to help. He has also tried. But there's so many leaders around me that are business people that are benefiting. You know, like your Black Business Forum, they are there, our tax owners, but they don't want to come to the party. You know, you find that Verulam Child Welfare, they fundraise 2.7 million. They do charity fairs, book the grounds. It's a shame that they have to book the grounds for so much of money from the metro when they're doing things to help us. Verulam community, the Indian community, don't need the Verulam charity fair as much as we do. It's us, I personally, sometimes I take a lot of cases. In Waterloo alone, about 50 boys were raped by a pastor. He raped them. All those boys, we had to take them there. He was a pastor and was a soccer coach. All those boys are getting free counseling from the Verulam Child Welfare. It's an NGO. And if you have to know the salaries those social workers are getting compared to the salaries the social workers from DSD, Social Development, it's ridiculous. But they're doing more work. And I don't know how many times I've went to Phoenix and I didn't get help. But when I go to Verulam Charity Fair, I get help. They started programs like teaching our women how to sew for free.
Times the
2
temple.
weeks. So
Please
thank you so
summarize.
much.
That's the last hand this side, will come back. That's the last hand this side, will come back. We're coming to this side now.
Good morning, leadership. My name is Mr. Sunil Ramadar. I represent the Ispingo Ratepayers Residents Association. The Titanic sank in 1912, yesterday, 100 years ago. So is Ispingo, Ward 90, a once beautiful town, an elite town. It was #1 in the KZN region. It has fallen into decay. The degeneration of Ward 90 is results of poor leadership from the local councillors. I don't name them, and I don't want to name the political party, but Isipengo is in a bad state. It has degenerated to such an extent that we have foreigners actually controlling our lands, our open spaces. We are being targeted by business people. The same foreign guys, they want to come, either put a gun to your head, they swear at you. And then we're having the issues of a housing project. I'm going to go back, I think 6 years back, the Kanku Road housing project development. Currently, this project is a mess to the residents living alongside the Nilgiri Crescent, the Sibingwa Hills. We were engaging with the local leadership when the project was being started. We told them of the challenge that we're currently experiencing. Currently, we have sewer overflowing from those pump stations, from the manholes, into residents living on Nilgiri Crescent. We have stormwater that's flooding people's houses. For the past 3 years, insurances have canceled their policies with the local residents. We are trying to get the area right. Then we go to Pilgrim. They're building another development. If they could not get one development right, how are they going to get the second development when it comes to sewer and water and your stormwater drainage? How is this possible? So we want the leadership. We want to hold your guys accountable for what has transpired at the Kanku Road housing development. You all have failed us as citizens. We are cleaning up your messes, hiring our own honeysuckers to get the sewer pumped out of there. You have a non-functional pump station that was not handed over to the Tekwini municipality. When I went over to the depot at Orient Park, an excuse, no, that is not in our jurisdiction to clean up that area. I was dissatisfied. I had my pressure go up because I'm living in Spingo for the past 61 years. To see Spingo fail in this condition, it's leadership. And I blame the ANC government because they had 5 Indian councillors that belong to the ANC. They messed our town up. So please, listen to us. We have engaged with 22,000 residents not to pay rates from next month. I know it's illegal, but we have to do something to wake up the city. How do we live in horrible sewer, stormwaters? Our roads are flooded. Every single time there's a flood, you cannot move out of Isipingo. The highways, the N2 highways, the local roads are flooded. Infrastructure is very, very poor. So I make a plea to the leadership and even the government of provincial unity. Please do a walkabout, spend 1 week in Ward 90 and see what I'm talking about. Because seeing is believing. And if you want to see the other side of residents, I think you'd rather come better equipped because all of them are on fire currently. We cannot put out those flames. It's you all that can put out those flames. So take us seriously. We will want a walkabout in Ward 90 as soon as possible because Spingo is going down the drains. As the Titanic sank 100 years ago, Isipingo has gone down that path halfway already. Thank you, leadership. Please take this note.
Thank you. Hands from the side now. Start at the back, the lady next to you. Yes.
Thanks, Chair. My name is Nomcebo Msomi. I'm representing SANCO today. Firstly, I'd like to greet everyone present and also appreciate all those who have spoken. I think they have made a lot of sense and also reminded us as civic organizations what really is our duty, besides also putting all the weight onto the leadership of the ANC. I'm confused. Sorry for
No,
the
continue.
interruption. I think for me, firstly, Chair, is it was quite correct that this is not a platform for us to, lay all of our problems, but equally also appreciate the work that government has done, but also not sidelining that the reality that we have in our society is the problems that also bring us here today. In appreciating that these are the type of platforms where we can be able to rally solidarity behind our own programmatic, issues that we are facing in our communities. I think for me, most especially because civic organizations are locally based, on the ground. Yes, we know that as the coordinator was addressing at first, did appreciate the role of SANCO, UDF, and the ANC in organizing people's power towards democracy of the liberation of our people in South Africa. But also right now, in this new dispensation, we are faced with different challenges and different problems. Let me just make one example that I feel we should also take knowledge of. I believe that locally we have our local councillors in our municipalities that should also focus on local economic development programs that can be able to skill small businesses and persons. Because if we were given that opportunity, we wouldn't be finding ourselves having to have established or foreigners establishing parallel manufacturing plants to an extent that every weekend we are burying our young children and our sisters towards issues of killer snakes through our tuck shops. I believe that we all have a responsibility on making sure that we hold those who are selling these cheap snacks accountable in our tuck shops. And I believe that the people we put in power also needs to mitigate and litigate against these issues. Not only saying that it's a role of government, but we also have to play a part, because while the police or security forces in our country are playing a role to go and arresting these people, we are part and parcel of the criminal activities that are actually taking place. To some extent, we can blame them, but to some extent, we actually don't even blame them, because people are hungry. People do not have jobs. People are seeking different alternatives from employment. That is why local development, economic development skills are very important in our local sector. And I'm hoping that as well, beyond everything else, as SANCO, we will also try to play a role, because outside of making an example of a Verelem, as my brother has spoken of, we need to also try a way to unify ourselves. Not to say that I'm Verelem, I'm SANCO, I'm this, I'm that. Civil society itself needs to try and organize ourselves so that we can be one strong unit and play an effective role in our communities besides of segregating ourselves. Because the biggest challenge is the segregation. It's as if civil society or civil movements are political parties with different, causes, while ours is the same objective, and that is to play a role of building our community. So I'm calling for that let us stick together, let us build together, let us work together, and let us hold those who are supposed to be accountable, so that despite us having challenges that we see of other people from other spaces coming into our spaces, we are a solid block. And if we were solid blocks, we wouldn't be burying our kids every weekend because of issues of our tuck shops.
Thank you. The second chair on the same table. Second hand.
Thanks, Chairperson. I'm Peggy Shanda from the SSP. I'm grateful of the contributions made. I therefore will not spend much time, because I agree in the main with all the speakers that have spoken before me, particularly on the need for us to make use of this important space as created by our movement. I want to believe that we should appreciate the fact that the ANC in particular saw a need to have a structure like this, which is now meeting with us, something that has been absent for quite some time. For that reason, we want to believe that we should appreciate that and say we are moving forward. We now have hope. I want to touch on just two things, particularly if we have the church here. One of the most important things with the ANC, which is unique, is that it was established by the church leaders 113 years ago. I want to believe that today the church once again is called upon to ensure that it gives direction to the ANC for the benefit of the society. It's for that reason that we are requesting you leaders not to forsake, not to abandon us today, because you have given back hope. Let me touch on this before I sit down, because I don't want to talk more about what we have raised, because it's important. There's one enemy of the ANC who hardly will speak well about the ANC, but recently he said the only good thing about the ANC, which all of us must fight for, is that it does not disappear, because it's the only organization which has established itself in such a way that in every corner of the society, of the country, if you move from here to Northern Cape, the first thing that you definitely know that you will find is an ANC branch and ANC members, which then binds us as the people of the country, which says to all of us, in as much as we have challenges, we must come forward and offer solutions, knowing very well that we have this one organization capable of holding us together as if it were a glue. As I retired chairperson, once again, I want to place this emphasis in the entire continent. This is the oldest organization capable of ensuring that despite challenges, I wish we will not go beyond this 40% the ANC has, but it's only the ANC that puts first the interest of unity and the people, such that even if it loses power, it peacefully hands over to the next people. And it doesn't happen in any country in the continent. Hence the importance of us to always come here and say, ANC, you are the only hope of the people. Therefore, it's important that you remove those who are not having the interest of the society. We wish you all the best. Thank you.
The last hand there, the lady with the pink top, and then we come to this table.
Greetings. My name is Tafsilan Zimrame I'm a member of SANCO, PEC member. First and foremost, comrades, I just want to appreciate your leadership for inviting us as civil society. It's very much important. The thing we've been looking for quite some time, but now, comrades, we really, really appreciate. But there is too much damage, comrades, I must say, and you need to pull your socks up. Time is against us. Where I come from, there is an issue of ablution toilets. Hey, comrade, you cannot, it's filthy. I will just concur with my colleague there that you need to come to Anc Kzn. It's filthy. And the issue of water.
Which ward in Anc Kzn?
I think the issue of water is from Ward 41, Ward 45, Ward 38. I think,
over.
Yes. There's hence as I said, just visit Anc Kzn. Okay. I don't want to put pressure on you and say, come, I've given you these days, but I'm humbling, asking you guys, please come and visit us. It's not good. Also, we need to have a mechanism where we'll assist our councillors. And we cannot have councillors like they are sleeping on job. So we need to make sure who is monitoring these councillors. They are doing their jobs. Because if me as the person and try to make my councillor account, it's like I'm attacking. So it needs your leadership to come and intervene so that we will save the ANC by so doing. So, hence, also the other thing that we need to do as the ANC, I'm humbling you in front of you guys. Let us make sure, or let us do away. I will say this again. I'll say sometimes at Alliance Summit at a regional level. This thing of community councillors. Because when you are doing that, if me as the person, when somebody is dead and then I'm the only person who have money, then I'm bearing all those communities, but I don't understand the ANC. That person, when he's elected, he will tell them, I want to account to the ANC, I will account to the community. Then there is the contradiction between, we need somebody that understands the ANC, that is need to be elected, so that that person will be accountable to the ANC. We are facing this problem because of those such people who are undermining the ANC. So please, let us look into it. It was a test. I know Comrade Kgalema was a test, but it's not working. Somewhat it's not working at all. So please, guys, please. If you need to win this Ethekwini municipality, you need to make sure that we put strong leadership there so that we will make sure we will win, because things are not well. Thank you.
Thank you. The next table, the next table, the next table, I'll come back. The next table.
Good morning to the leadership. My name is Anc Kzn, and I come from the Cato Manor area, which most of you would know is very much an informal settlement area. So I want to say thank you to the leadership for coming through to engage with civil society. But I want to take a different angle here, leadership. I think we need to make no bones about why you're here. You're here to engage civil society as a direct result of what happened in the 24 elections. You saw a serious fall in this province and nationally. Now, while I've listened to Comrade Mike speak about renewal, about commitment and stuff, I think the important thing is that we know the issues here, comrades. We know the issues of service delivery. We know the issues of what's going to happen and what is happening. But I think it's most important that the ANC needs to take steps within itself, engaging civil society who is already doing the work. In fact, you can't convert the converted already. It is civil society that is currently carrying the burden of what your municipality and society is doing under your leadership in this province. Right now, comrades, I'm going to say to you, you are aware of the fact you took strong, bold steps in changing the PEC leadership in this province and coming out to use the word renewal. Renewal, renewal, renewal has just become a phrase. But there's nothing happening in terms of your city, in terms of what's happening in all our municipalities. You are aware at the end of the day that there are failures in the municipality and you are not taking bold steps to clean that failures. There are people that are sitting in positions of power that is doing absolutely nothing for our city. If we think that we're going to go back into the 2026 elections and think that you're not going to suffer a defeat, start inwards. Start addressing the issues of our community while you still have the power to do so. Start getting rid and start training your councillors to become more service delivery orientated to the communities. In 2021, I need to share this with you quickly. I spent 35 years in the African National Congress. A lot of people know me, including some of the leadership here, including Comrade Jeff Radebe, who came to my house in 1994. I voted against you in the last 10 years because I was so disappointed in what you've been doing to us as a society. In 2021, I decided to stand behind a councillor, Comrade Noktula Jojo, in my ward because I believed an ANC councillor. We lost that election. But while walking door to door, speaking to the informal and formal community in my area, I made them a promise that even though whether we win this election or lose this election, we will still stand. And I stand proud that I worked the last 4 years in a DA-controlled ward. But I must share, being involved, I couldn't even find assistance from people that control our municipality, a party that I supported for 35 years. My own bills of 295,000 rand in a water bill, I had to settle it last year because of the inefficiency of this department. What about those pensioners who can't even do these things? So let me start by saying, there's a gentleman that sits out here, a man that has taken the issues in terms of fighting for the communities in a civic nature, Assad, who has done it. Maybe it's time that you listen to people like him. Comrades, you are coming into 2026. And I know that, I believe from a scientific point of view that the African National Congress core policies, core system is one of the best that can keep South Africa stable. But your ability to implement those policies has failed, sir. Has failed because nobody else is going to do it any better. And if you owe society, you owe South Africa, you owe our people a stability because you fought for our freedom. But you're not implementing those policies. You are not taking the people, you are allowing for corruption to take place in our city. You are allowing for comrades that are corrupt to continue with things. You need to take the bold steps like what you did with the PSC. This is the time. You won't have to run the city in the next 12 months because it's going to be taken over. We got 1 year. We got 1 year to change the dynamics of the city. And that starts by doing things. Maybe you may not solve all the issues, but train the councillors to go and speak to people, to address the issues of people. People sometimes know that some things are difficult, but visit your community. You're getting paid for it. Right now, civil society is taking the responsibility of what your councillors are doing. And they are failing you miserably. So while I appreciate your engagement with civil society, you need to engage your councillors, your people that run the municipality, the people that are responsible for service delivery to change their ways. Thank you.
Thank you. The gentleman next to him.
Thank you very much. My name is Asad Ghaffar. I am the chairperson of the eThekwini Ratepayers Protest Movement. I also sit as the chair of the Westville Ratepayers Association. I think many in this room know me. Pregi, thank you very much for the introduction. But for me, the bigger concern, and I want to echo the sentiments of Pregi as well, and I've said this in many public platforms, and I'll say it again today. I don't have a political home. My hopes was with the African National Congress. And the fact that the African National Congress has failed this country and its people, I find myself homeless. I don't know who to turn to. So for me, I'm going to address the issues in regards to what I see. And I heard the earlier speaker saying, we must take the criticism, and I hope that you take it in the spirit that I'm going to give it. Firstly, I think as the ANC, sorry, not the ANC, as the African National Congress, you guys need to define yourself. And right now, you don't know who you are. Are you the ANC that we know, and of the ones that you spoke about this morning, meaning that we stand for every single person in this country, we are non-racial, non-partisan, and we want an inclusive society. That is the ANC that we want. Are you that ANC? And I don't think that you can answer that. We are privy to the reports that we see in the press. There is a power struggle between the president of the ANC and the deputy president. It's in the press. It's open. And on one side, you have one push for the all-inclusive ANC, and then you have the other push, which is saying RET. And RET is against an all-inclusive society, let's be honest. We can call it whatever you want. And the other concern that we have, if you go to any ANC-led municipality, you will find in a council meeting, they will open with the national anthem. And with that, they will also sing the Pan-Africanist national anthem. And those are in contradiction to each other. So if you control that municipality as the African National Congress, and you should be leading that non-racial, non-whatever, all-inclusive, then you need to drive that. But even in your ANC-led municipality, all well and good. It's up to you guys now, whether you are really prepared to change. And if you're really prepared to change, come meet with us. We're happy to engage with you. Because as ratepayer associations, we've been calling for this. We want oversight. Give us that oversight. If you're saying that you want to end corruption, give us that oversight. We'll ensure that there is no corruption. But because you don't want to give us that oversight, corruption will continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues, let's be mindful of the time, 3 minutes, because so many people want to speak, and we want to allow almost everybody to speak. The gentleman here.
We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country,
Introduce yourself, sir.
and believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. Good morning. I'm starting, that's my start, be patient.
You're still going to introduce yourself. Okay, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Billy, continue.
You spoiled the whole impact.
So sorry.
So I'm going to start again.
Okay.
We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of the past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, and believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. Molweni, Sawubona, Usanibona, Enda, Moya, Tumalani, Tumela, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste.
Namaste.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mr. Bo Dayal. I'm an activist. I hold no rank, I hold no position. I'm just a concerned citizen of this beautiful land, South Africa. I have nowhere else to go. I don't have refugee status to go to any other country. So I am here in South Africa to stay. I'm 62 years old. We've spoken, I've listened. Possible solutions. Before I proceed, I see you speak about renewal demands, actions, not platitudes, cliches, slogans. Quite correctly, we're tired of all that, we're fed up. So if we really want to make a difference to win this election, as I recite these problems, these are going to be the fundamentals in trying to gain the trust and rebuild that spirit of the ANC. Because these are very basic problems that if we work from within, then perhaps we will get some joy. And my points to bring to your attention is the call center, 080-311-1111. That seems to be the only number that every single resident has at his hand to make a call, to complain, or to give some sort of feedback to the municipality. Why is there this gatekeeping? Like, people are so superior, yet our constitution, I forgot to say, I read from the constitution of our republic. This is the constitution. It is the supreme law of the Republic of South Africa. There's no other law higher than this. If we don't respect this and we want to break this down, then we become no better than a banana republic. We have to uphold the rule of law. And that is a statutory obligation of the council, of the ANC, of anybody who wants to get into public office. So, coming back to my call center numbers, why are there such gatekeepers that will frustrate you to get hold of a senior ranking person in the municipality? Why are call takers so arrogant and drop the calls? So we sort that call center out. I think we've paid 200 million rand on an Oracle CSX system. It doesn't work. Sort the call center out, and I'll guarantee you people will be more satisfied. Because the moment they are able to ventilate their frustrations, it's the same thing. You allow us to come here and then you say 3 minutes. After 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Where's the freedom of expression then? Where's the desire to want to listen to us? I've taken time out from a busy schedule to sit and research the internet. What I'm speaking here is not the average layman's presentation. These are very, very important things to speak about from the Constitution. The Constitution alludes to equality. The Constitution alludes to freedom of expression. The Constitution alludes to a safe environment. eThekwini must be charged. When we look at NEMA, the National Environmental Management Act, the people who are accountable for all this, when we want to phone, that is why I say, there is no access to numbers to phone. You say, my dear brother, there's a problem here, you could be charged. To protect the image of the ANC-run government, let's try and sort this out amicably over a cup of tea. No, we don't get that privilege. So fine, we'll go to court. We go to court. You're wasting the taxpayers' money. Because even if you do win your case, the image is dented. Who's the image? The ANC. So how are we going to renew that ANC is by taking my suggestions very, very seriously and get that call center up and about. The other part of it is no cell phone numbers, state issued. I pay for it, the taxpayer. Everybody sitting here pays for your cell phone. But we can't get access to senior people. Why is there a policy like that? Or if there is a policy. If there is a policy that needs to be reviewed, that every senior ranking officer or official of the eThekwini Municipal should give his cell phone out. I have the cell phone of Jeff Radebe. And to put you all to the test, I called Jeff Radebe. And he immediately gave me a response. Jeff Radebe responded in within half an hour, I would say. So how is it a senior ranking ANC official can respond? But here we got mayors and municipal managers and senior people that don't respond. If you do obtain some office landline numbers from the website, the numbers are not being answered. So upgrade and update to the website. Some solutions that I want to put to you right now is called, it's a psychological aspect of life. In the business world, we call it the Johari windows. Now, the Johari windows is a possible mechanism to actually, I'm just trying to get my paper there. If we have to speak about the Johari's window, there are certain things that the ANC may not know about itself. So it's broken up into 4 windows. It's broken up into 4 windows. And,
people are timing you now.
Sorry?
That's why you hear the...
Well, if I'm talking nonsense, then it may as
No,
well,
you are not.
may as well sit down.
But let's be mindful, this is a breakfast meeting. We don't want
Well,
you to
let me put it to you for the record.
Oh.
I actually made a request to your department asking for extra time. I did not receive a response. There's the lady sitting there. There's the lady, I sent her an email, I got the proof, and said to her, I want to. So.
Continue and finish up.
Thank
People are waiting to speak.
So as I said, let's come back to the psychological aspect of rebuilding this ANC. The steps and suggestions that tap into the human need for safety, fairness, and belonging. Humans are prone to cognitive biases. And if we want to rebuild, we've got to accept that we need to acknowledge. Just as when this country was taken over, we had a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And if we can have something where the ANC acknowledges its past mistakes and move forward from there, I'm sure we can get a bandwagon effect and get people to join into the ANC.
The table here. Pam, inside. We're coming back to this side.
Good morning. My name is Alison Skuman. I'm from the eThekwini United Ratepayers Business and Civics Organization and also from the Bluff Ratepayers Association. I want to just start off quickly with a message I received on the 15th of February 2025. Hi, Alison. The Manor Halfway House is situated at 17 Madeleine Road. Each resident grant money of 2190 goes from SASSA directly to the DCMH bank account. That is 37 residents multiplied by 2190 equals 81,000 per month. Once a month, each resident receives 413 Rand cash from DCMH in an envelope. Sorry, residents are kept in the dark and management refuses to communicate any information about government subsidies. Then he sends me a photo of what their toilet looks like, the only toilet. This photograph shows a huge hole in the bathroom and also the geyser is broken. We need a new geyser. We use this bathroom and it only has cold water. We're going into winter now. Then he sends me a picture of what their roof and the inside looks like. This photograph shows that the ceiling has been damaged by rainwater, the roof leaks badly throughout the building, the rainwater has damaged the wood, causing the gutters to fall off, paint is peeling off the ceilings and walls. The electricity account has not been paid. Please investigate, as the municipality could cut off our electricity. The municipality worker who did the meter reading was angry and said that the manor electricity account is in arrears and must be paid. We used to get delicious supper from service provider, Cook and Care. DCMH cancelled Cook and Care's contract. We do not get this food. We need an order to determine what is DCMH doing with the grant money from the residents. The manor is in a very bad, dilapidated state as very little to no maintenance has been done. We need geysers, taps, roof repairs, toilet repairs, and a new washing machine. We also need DCMH's income and expenditure to be audited to determine why maintenance has not been undertaken at the manor for many years. DCMH stands for the Durban and Coastal Mental Health Department. So, Ms. MEC Simelane, this message, I hope, has resonated with you and you will actually investigate, because this is a very serious concern. I responded on the Facebook page when I saw the state of decay and this resident reaching out with the dire state that facility is in. This is not the only facility. Now, the reason why I'm using this example is because earlier we opened up about accountability and consequent management. That's been a theme throughout this entire engagement this morning. Crime is out of control. Our NPA, unfortunately, as an attorney, I am deeply embarrassed at the state of our national prosecuting system. Criminals are running rampant because there is just no motivation for them to actually live as law-abiding citizens. That is a big failure on government. Once the criminal system has been resolved and our judicial system has been resolved and expedited, then most residents will fall in line. Because right now it's too easy to commit a crime and get away with it. Right down from government to the top. People are not motivated to live as law-abiding citizens. So for me, if you fix that problem, you will fix a whole lot of problems. Sort out the NPA, sort out the courts, have a special court sitting for matters relating to government fraud. The Sandile Gumede case should have been finalized a long time ago. Yet we are still battling. Now we have to pay the price for those high tariff increases because of all the fraud and corruption that has happened there. And where is she sitting? In luxury. Well, I can't even afford to have a medical aid anymore. I've had to cancel my medical aid because I can't afford to pay all my bills because of the constant tariff increases. That is not fair. It is not fair that criminals get to live a better life than law-abiding citizens. And that is on you.
Good morning to you. My name is Theo Pillay, Chairman of the Woodview Ratepayers Association in Phoenix. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for inviting us here. I must make it clear that we want to work with you. In saying that, I have two concerns. One is land grab in Phoenix, the other is education. It's no joke that people are building land or homes on streams. Our sports fields have been taken. We have to take eThekwini to court in February. Why? Because of corruption. We took 80,000 of poor people's money to take them to court. The judge and the advocate were smiling at one another. What does it tell you? We're saying to you, sir, ma'am, we want to work with you, and if you want to know what's going on in Phoenix, call me, I'll take a drive, I'll fetch you, 1 hour's time, we'll do the whole of Phoenix. Land has been taken away. Land has been built, houses have been built on demos land, where there's water. The walls are falling apart. Council says, no, the plans are approved. What nonsense is that? Who are they fooling? This must stop. We want to work with you. We want you. If you can contact me, I will take you to Phoenix. I will show you where they're building houses on streams, on river. And they're saying, and I want to make this clear, ladies and gentlemen, they're selling the land, council has sold the land for 30,000. The developer is divided by 4 pieces at 750,000 each. People have bought homes and developed with no title deeds. So when those families die, what happens to those properties? Because we are naive, and they're saying it's meant for low-income group. I challenge municipality to show me one resident that's affordable that could have got that houses. nonsense. It doesn't work. We are sacrificing our life. We don't get paid for this job. We've been threatened by the mafias. I personally have been threatened, and I said I will not step down. So we'd like you to help us. Please, we cannot go to court for another 150,000, 80,000. We cannot beg the poor pensioners in Woodview to help us take this to court. And that's a tact that these people are using, so that when your money is finished, they'll walk away. We are not walking away. We're going to fight this. On the education side, schools are being used for trucks to be parked. Scrap yards, right? Classrooms, underutilized. Where is the department? We went to the department to talk to them. Sorry, it's not your responsibility. It's the governing body's responsibility. They're shirking in their duties. There's poor children that are suffering from the neighboring townships as well that come to our schools. They are put in the middle there. We appeal to you, ma'am, and the team. Take our numbers down. Come with us. Have a look at what we're saying before you make your decisions. But we need your intervention, because I am going to challenge you when our court case comes up to say, will you assist us? A lot of parties are aware of what's going on. For the reasons they're not coming forward. We make an appeal to you. Please join us in this fight. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Norman Gilbert. I'm the chairman of the Bluff Ratepayers and Residents Association. I just want to echo the sentiments of every speaker ahead of me, because we all are in that same boat. But I'd like to take this opportunity, because we are with our provincial leadership, to address my concern to MEC Simelane. On the Bluff, we have a hospital called Wentworth Hospital. This hospital is desperately in need of high-level oversight inspection. We get reports from residents on the Bluff on a daily basis about the way they're being treated in that hospital. People are dying overnight in that hospital, and there's no explanation as to why. Security personnel that are hired by the department to provide a security service at the hospital seem to be of the understanding that they are the medical ushers and are telling people where to sit, and they are, it's almost like I forget the word now, when you have a trauma situation, a triage. They are the triage agents. What does a security guard know about an ailment that a person is suffering to determine how soon they get seen to or where they must go and sit? We had a gentleman have an argument with the security because he wasn't being attended to. They took him around the corner outside the hospital and beat him up. I wrote to the board of the hospital, which has only just recently been reinstated after 10 years, and I asked them for an investigation. I'm still waiting, and this is a month ago. So I appeal to you, Minister, MEC, if you could please put on your agenda as a matter of urgency a high-level oversight inspection at that hospital, because it is out of control. The medical staff sit behind their counters. They appear to be less than interested in helping the people that come to see them. And I understand that across the country, hospitals have a problem, but this one is unique, and I think you need to have a look at it. So if you could please attend to that. I'm happy to engage with you after the event if you'd like some more information. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next. Oh.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Alice Govender, and I'm from the Phoenix Civic and Ratepayers Association. My colleague, Mr. Theo Pillay, has brought to your attention about the issue with land. I just want to add to that, water service in our community of Phoenix, which comprises of 5 wards, is hugely impacted by the strange relationship our eThekwini municipality has with the developers, namely Woodglaze Development, which was owned by the late Jay Singh, who has been under investigation. He has been stopped, but he continues. I have had conversations with the ex-mayor, Mr. Kaunda. I've had conversations with the speaker, Mr. Nwasi. I've had conversations with Mr. Kele, and everything has fallen on deaf ears. Since 2018, we've been fighting the scourge. 2 other issues I'd like to bring to your attention, which we need provincial intervention on, is the Caesar Color Centers. Our residents are treated shabbily. They are pushed from Phoenix to Verulam and all around when it can be done in Phoenix. And I can see no reason why our marginalized, poor pensioners should be pushed around. Ordinary citizens, ordinary residents who are having water dispute issues are also being badly treated. And you guys need to be talking at local level to intervene because it's been going on for far too long. Thank you so much.
The next table. We're going to attend to you. We're coming.
Thank you very much. Good morning, leadership. It's Brandon Pillay from Chatsworth. Firstly, thank you for creating this platform. I must applaud you and the movement for hosting this engagement. I also believe that from all the engagements you had since last week, this will be by far the most important. And the reason I'm saying this is because these are people that are on the ground. When you are meeting with civil society, you're meeting with those who interact daily with the communities. And this is where we should have started. This is the platform that will take us to where we need to be. So we often hear that home is where the heart is, but sometimes your home can also break your heart. And this is precisely what has happened. The ANC is and has been the only home for all of us. There's actually no other political party that has policies like the ANC. But our hearts have been broken. Because the ANC we once stood for is not the ANC that we see daily. And that is what has caused people to stay away from the polls. That's the first thing they did. To punish us, they stopped voting. And in the last election, they went somewhere else. But what can we do? I think the first thing, and you heard in this room, is around the water issue. Now, the water issue comes with aging infrastructure, the increase in population, and urban migration. But it actually amounts to poor planning. Had the city planned prior to this, we would have been able to deal with this in a much better way, and we would have avoided a lot of the current challenges. But that is water under the bridge, or actually no water. There are simple things. There are two simple things that communities need that will be able to change the perception of how they see us. Basic service delivery, electricity and water, daily. There are communities without water, there are communities without electricity. But where the problem lies? The problem lies with the municipality and the turnaround time that they have. While there are areas without water, I can tell you there are leaks for more than 30 days. We've started a war on leaks, but where that has fallen off, I don't know. I'm on several service delivery chats daily, and you complain about a leak with a reference number, and you find after 2 weeks that reference number is closed. But the leak was never sorted out. And you find 2 roads away, there's no water for 7 days. But yet there are leaks that are not fixed. There are burst pipes that are not fixed. Now, how are we servicing our communities if we're not taking care of those simple things? There was a time where you have any engagement and the community will ask for housing. It's not that anymore. People are actually asking for water and electricity, not even housing. I can't even remember the last time we built a house in the city. For the longest time, the city has not had prepaid meters. And there's no answer. You ask them and they'll tell you there's no meters. And they cannot give you an answer as to when they're going to get prepaid meters. There are key service delivery departments that are headless. Heads of departments that are either suspended or resigned. And it's taken the longest time for us to be able to fill those critical vacancies. But how do we move forward? I propose that we include officials of the municipality in a platform like this, and we should have an ongoing engagement with civic associations and CPFs. That's the people you need to talk to. If you are talking to them on an ongoing basis, including officials, you're not going to wait for next week and next month. You're going to get things done immediately. And I like when Comrade Mike came into the city. That's exactly what was happening when there was the war room set up. The war room was addressing issues weekly. What we need is that platform that will take what is happening in all 110 or 11 wards, and you deal with it weekly, not quarterly and yearly. You have less than 12 months. If we can't turn this around, I don't know what is going to. These are the people who you need to be directly involved with. If we want to change anything, if we want to get back support, CPFs and the civic associations is the only way to go to. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope people who are recording ask permission from those who are speaking. The next table, then we're moving to that side.
No.
Nobody from, oh.
Thank you very much, Chair. My name is Anc Kzn. I'm the South African Youth Council Provincial Secretary. I also happen to be the SANAC Youth Sector Chairperson in KwaZulu-Natal. Few things. Maybe firstly, let me commend the meaningful engagement with civil society organizations that the leadership has had, and want to emphasize that we should really have these ongoing engagements. But more especially, we should also meet on the ground where the communities are. I'm saying this because we're having a challenge as civil society. We're always being used as a mobilization tool for government programs, but we're not really involved on the planning phase. So there can't be anything about us without us. So it's important that the deployees of the ANC are able to engage us from the planning phase, not to come and say, this is a program, mobilize your sector to come and attend the program. But we should be more involved on the planning phase of the program so we get more output of the program. So we really want to plead to the leadership of the ANC, because when we are engaging in civil society work, we also find ourselves in a bit of a challenge, because we don't only wear our caps of being in civil society, but we're also members of the ANC. We're also leaders of the ANC. I happen to lead a branch of the ANC as branch secretary in eThekwini, Ward 32. I've been a secretary there since 2014 of the ANC. So now, when you engage with government, when you engage with the new provincial government of unity, when you even engage, for example, in Ndlovu, Lephezulu, they first look at you and say, no, I can see you are SAIC, I can see you are SANEC, but I know you are ANC. So it's difficult to work with government at a provincial level, because they first look at which organization do you come from, political. So we're urging leaders of the ANC who are in the space of civil society, use us, collaborate with us in your programs, involve us in your programs, so that we are able to restore the confidence of the ANC going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next table at the back, we're moving forward. Nobody there? Move to the next table. Three minutes, Mama.
Sorry.
Imizuzu emithathu.
Khululeka mntakama ngizokhuluma ngesiZulu futhi. Nginibingelela abaholi bami abangaphambili, abaholi bethu. Mina nguNomvula kwaSilangwe Ward 47, iward ekade idume ngama program. Engikhuluma kuyimanje program yeSOAP yasuka kuthini, iqalwe yithini. Okay, angikho lapho. La ngikhona ngila. Ward 47 sine section uL. uL okade wawin iprogram ye national ukuthi ulungiswe. Ube khona abaphumayo ngoba kwakuyindlu yakhiwe A no B. So into eyenzekile ngikhuluma ngeprogram njalo yaqala ukungena kwa comrade uPresident uMbeki. Waze waphuma, ngiyathemba naye akasayikhumbuli leyo ndaba. Usengakhumbula mayibheka amaphepha. Namhlanje kusemaperuperu bakwethu. Abantu bayaxabana, bayalwa, babanga izindlu, babanga ama-toilet. Siyacela ukuthi njengoba nihleli ngaphambili, siyanithuma ukuthi ake nisikhulumele, iqhubeke le program. Ngibuyele kulento eshiwo comrade lo kade ehlala phansi wasePhoenix. Inkinga enkulu, umhlaba besinawo ePasadena. Inkinga enkulu, the same councillors lawe asithi ekuba yithini esiwaphakamisayo iwona athintekayo ukuthi ayawudayisa umhlaba noma singena kodwa siyesiza ukuthi iwona adayisayo asinayo indawo manje kodwa siyafuna ukuthi sihlukaniswe. Number 3, comrade, ngiyawusaba u2020 u2016 ngoba icorruption ingaka nje. It's because 2016 la esasingena siya kuma BGM simelwe ngembhobho yezibhamu simelwe ngayo yonke inhlobo yesikhalo ongayicabanga kodwa sakwazi ukusurvive lapho but i-organization yalimala. 3, mangase kuphele lento yamathenda ngoba laba abaningi abahlubukile indaba yamathenda mase ubathatha ubabheke bonke ubabeke nje la uzothola ukuthi abantu abayifunela ibhizinisi nje labo kusho ukuthi abantu ababengenandaba nenhlangano. Number 4, abanye babo abanye ababenefitile ngo-ANC but base beyabaleka wazothi thina esakhula silale emahlathini sibaleka omelo yelo thina sisalo siyibambile ngoba sidlanga lutho sifuna inhlangano iye phambili.
Another hand there. Konestisan. Okay, the next table. Nasisan. Pam. Pam, there's another hand there next to the window. Oh. Who?
Pam, what's the story? Yeah, sorry. Very technical. Hi, good day to you. My name is Lenzo Pillay. Firstly, thank you for this platform. But, you know, the rot runs deep. You are here because you'll have almost lost everything. And you'll have now, it took you 30-odd years to realize that we, the voters, we, the decision makers, the influencers are here, and now you're reaching out to us. Whether it's too late or not, well, we'll see in the next election. The numbers don't lie. The vultures are circling because they can smell death in the ANC. It is sad. I spoke to Jeff Radebe before this meeting. I said it is very sad when we look at the once great ANC. When we look at the Freedom Charter, ask yourselves, every one of y'all in an official position, did y'all wipe your feet on that Freedom Charter? Or did y'all proudly uphold it? When y'all earn your salary, do y'all look at that Freedom Charter? Remember that Freedom Charter, that was blood, sweat, and tears that went into writing that. We sit here today and we ask questions. Y'all know the answers. Y'all have failed. It's nothing here is going to revive this. You want to talk? I spoke to Cogta, what's her name, Zinke Kele, last year. I said, I will give it to you. Come to us on the ground. That's where change happens, not here. Here we came, some came to have your breakfast, take photos with people, grandstand. No change is going to happen from now to the next LGE. Meet us on the ground. Look at what's going on. A simple thing like water. Simple, and I say simple. It's supply outstripping demand, demand outstripping supply. Don't y'all know which is which? When we look at this, every year you'll talk about an upgrade budget on our infrastructure. Where's it going? I asked Kaunda, how do you get to that budget, that 60, 70 billion rand? Do you think about the people down there? It's 30-odd years. You'll still talk about rural areas. Our people are living in squalor. I need to put you all in those RDP houses because you all deserve it, not our gogos that's sitting here. You all deserve it. You all got your fat salaries. You all have your airplane tickets booked, first class, business class. We are battling to get bread. We run a program as an NPC. It costs us about 50 million rand a year. We employ 1,600 people at the lowest level, pay them the minimum wage 2 days a week, 8 days a month for 10 months. Why can't you all do it? That is privately funded. Why can't you all do it? When we look at employment, we are becoming, you know, the president. God help him, because proudly he's saying we have 28 million on social grants. Is that something to be proud of? He should hang his head in shame. Because you all promised before 94. I remember President Mandela stating, we will stop the rot, we will stop this, we will stop that. What have we stopped? We opened the floodgates. When we look at our people these days, look at, it's raining. Let's leave all your posh outfits. Let's go into the squatter camps. Y'all call that non-revenue generating areas. We are paying for it. the taxpayer, the ratepayer. You all sit here, we'll have this interactive, consultative meetings. It just ticks the boxes. You really want to make a difference, sir, madam? Join us on the ground. Because here, nothing's going to get resolved. Here it becomes a bashing game. Right now, the vultures are circling. And I'm telling you, I know it. They're waiting for those tenders. They're waiting for treasury. Look at the average age here. What have you all done? Look at the average age of every ANC member. You're all over the hill. We need youth. We need a fresh injection. All we're doing is Angie Mochega. My God, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? And now you come to us to ask us, what do we do to help? Come on. You can't take a person that's there. What does she know? You know, we talk about merit. What did they do to earn it? We look at Phoenix. Look at your gatekeepers in Phoenix. We cannot enter the ANC because those that are there are stuck. They are blocking the vision and they're blocking the youth from coming through to the ANC. Why? You're not getting rid of them. Get a 5-year plan. Serve your thing and get going. Phoenix Child Welfare, Phoenix Youth Center, Chatswood Youth Center. You all took a young man, full of life, lost him in your structure. When Brandon was up and coming, he was the most vocal guy. What did y'all do to him? Y'all clipped his wings. That's politics for y'all. Here we'll resolve nothing. Come meet us on the ground. You're talking about housing in Phoenix. I'm well aware of that. The SIU report is sitting in your mayor's office. Why can't we get it? Why don't y'all publish it? A letter came from Ramaphosa's office to release it. They're playing hide and seek with it. Why? It names names. It gives you figures. It shows how much you all lost. You all want to put the VAT up. Just go look at that number at what the value is eThekwini lost. I thank you for this.
Thank you. The next table. The next table. Oh,
Hi.
sorry.
Okay. Morning, everybody. My name is Ish Prahlad. I'm the president of eThekwini Ratepayers and Resident Association, also the chair of Reservoir Hills Ratepayers. My colleague from ERA has said most of it, but I am just going to polish a little of him. And I want to know, what are y'all going to do about the double-digit tariff increase? Are y'all going to stop it, or y'all going to look at it? Number two is, how many times a year are we going to have this engagement? Once a year or once in 5 years? Councillors must take accountability, and we want to know who can we contact higher up that we can talk about the councillors in our area. And the last point, in Reservoir Hills, our infrastructure has not been upgraded for the past 30, 35, 40 years. We are having students being put into a 3 or 4 bedroom house, which goes up to 100 students in a house. That means the infrastructure has not been upgraded. There's 100 students in a 3-4 bedroom house, and these lovely landlords are staying in lovely lush places, and we, the people that live in Reservoir Hills, have to see our roads burning. We cannot go to work, and the students are burning because they've got no Wi-Fi, and they don't have the luxuries in life. This has to be stopped. They have earmarked Mountbatten Drive right up to Pridley, whole of Varsity Drive for student accommodation. Come on, guys. Your infrastructure is dead. Please stop this. Thank you.
The next table, this side.
Sanbonan. Thank you, leadership. Siyabonga ukuthi nisinikezele lithuba nizohlala nathi phansi ngoba siwakhethile amakhansela, sinawo ama committee inhlobo ngeinhlobo emawadini, kodwa ngizoqala nje ke ngibeke lento yakwaMashu yalezi zindlu okuthiwa R293. Khona gogo abahleli laphana elele ngaphakathi umuntu wesifazane ningixolele ngokuthi angishongo ukuthi ngubani sizobona
Isho mama.
so uthelele umuntu omdala ma ngisho okay amagama aphelele nguNomathemba ngwakwanana isibongo ngiwala kwaMashu eKhaneke Ndlovu izone ngizothini ngikhulumela umama ngikhulumela ingane ngizokhulumela nje iSouth Africa as a whole ngoba sithwele kanzima especially thina abantu besifazane ngoba nonke nila endlini nje nize ngathi yonke lento ehlupha iSouth Africa iyasibulala thina iyasigqilaza lezi zinto engicela ukukhuluma ngazo kuqala sama councillor about 5 councillors engene ephuma kodwa ayipheli leya program. There's some old ladies abalala bebuka ngaphandle indlu it's damage iphelile indaba yayo uyanetha no doors no windows kodwa amakhansela yangena yaphuma yashintsha and uthi mawibuka leyanto uthola ukuthi awusazi awunamali nawe because if we had some money we should just go and build those houses for our elder people and our children. Amakhansela enza lento ayenzayo ngiphinde ngizoza kule ye child abuse women and child abuse namaphoyisa ngizokubhanga because ginama cases engathi mangiqala manje to explain you about those about 3 cases that I know that I've attended to. The first one, the lady was killed by a boyfriend. Okay? The boyfriend was caught. But because the lady didn't go to report first before she died, Uguti, the boyfriend is abusing her. So there was no case. He went scot-free. Sehla senyuka naye lapha elokishini. Ngizothini. The second one, there was a break-in kwi-program yamakhosikazi. Bathatha about 4-5 machines, sewing machines, industrial. They've got caught right-handed selling those machines with scrap yard. There was a case, we've got my case numbers. There was a case, evidence is there, everything is there, but they got away scot-free. Just because the person who was supposed to go and report this incident, she was umuntu owabona, umuntu ongathi ngizothini unedementia yakhe mangisho njalo. She forgets things. So once the magistrate heard that, what I don't know ke manje ukuthi what is going on, baphuma scot-free with the hard evidence. Okay, the police in KwaMashu. I'm also coming from a Khaneke Ndlovu zone. I don't know, Norma, they need someone or people who can go there. Angazi kanjani. I'm not going to say they are corrupt. I'm going to say they just don't know what they are doing. They are just there to be paid and go home. I'm not going to say they are corrupt because I know no one that was corrupted, that I can just say, yeah, ngiyamazi ucorrupt nginayo evidence. Kodwa ke mina I say all of them, if no station commander bakhona, they just don't know what they are doing there or what they are supposed to be doing there. Uyabona ke? When it comes to ukuhlukumezeka kwabantu besifazana nabantwana, no, the boys are also hlukumezekile like nobody's business. The boys as well. Kodwa ke, for us, we need something. Nayi solution yani encane. Please, lento niyenze la kuthina today. Try and make it compulsory kumakhamtsela. Ukuthi they have to do this. Nithi nina, you are the boss most. We are paying the councillors, isn't it? Ithi wena counseling. Every week, biza community and then report whatever is happening.
Siyabonga mama.
Uphinde uthi uvula platform ukuthi umphakathi they can talk to you guys ngaleko ukuthi kuthiwe enzi appointment mawungayenzanga owasha kwacima ke nivule enye indlela eza kinina ngo ngoba le eniyenze namhlanje thank you and thank you and thank you.
Siyabonga mama. Colleagues, let's come to the next table. We're only going to have 2 hands. Abanga Kulumanga, who also want to speak, can come to us after the meeting and talk to us. We're going to be losing people. It's a breakfast meeting. People must go back to work.
Good morning to everyone in the room. Lo okulumayo unombuso wakafaya isibongo. I started an organization called the Joel Fire Legacy Project. And the purpose of this project was to try and help idling youth. Unento umuhlale lokishini that you'll notice. So on a full-time basis, I work for an NPO and I run my own NPO. So my work revolves around the Anc area, Inanda, Ntuzuma, and Umashu. So I drive elokishini on a weekly basis. And the number of youth that are idling in my lokishini is just beyond. And when we're looking at all the social ills, I don't know how we expect to overcome social ills if we are not engaging youth, if we are not, there's a gentleman who spoke about education. If we go to the stats about education, we know we have dropouts. Why are we having dropouts, right? Kunama programs, again, but our councillors run boards like they are running their own households. That's the same agwabo. So the foundation of most of our issues as well, there's a big issue with our councillors. If you walk into a councillor's office and you are seeking assistance for a program that you are trying to run, in the first place. They were voted by these community members to assist. Mina, ANC. Mina, I was a card-carrying member of the ANC in Youth League. Sihamba sela pakuba nama rally go Princess Makoko. Sa kajani figi IFP shobe sibaleka shonguthulu. But sagcina si demotivated to see youth because our leaders besiseme sifuna ukuba ne voice, we are being shut down. Nami, I am like the other members that are here. When I stopped being a card-carrying member of the ANC, I didn't go anywhere else. Ngimina nje. Ayikho organization engayijoyina because sina sakhula sazi ukuthi ka ANC isekhaya. But now I'm a person, I'm ngiyaphuma manje kwi-youth, but anginalo nami ekhaya. I don't know who to cry to. I have programs. We've gone to school, we've got the degrees, we've got the experience, we've worked in projects. This coming weekend, I'm working with another organization, we have no support. We've run another program prior to that. I take money from the salary from where I work, I buy soccer balls, I buy this, I buy that, just to try and give back. So I'm not going to keep complaining. A lot of us have said a lot of things about the issues that we have. But today I'm going to say to the ANC government, Sikhona, we are servant leaders. We are currently servant leaders. Use us. Thank you. Use us. Come to us and say, we want to do this for the youth. Can I have you on board? We are willing to do the work. We are here because we are willing to do the work. When I got the invitation, I wasn't sure what the platform, what the structure was, because I've never attended something like this. But my whole purpose, I don't know what other people's purpose is to be here, but my purpose was to avail myself because I am a social justice activist.
Thank you.
I'm availing myself. So to any other civic organization, to Hulmen Waga ANC, to Umaspala Mukhone, anyone, if you are saying, let's get together, let's talk, how do we move forward, how do we keep our youth occupied, Mina, I'm here to avail myself. Thank you.
See, the last hand, that's the last hand. That's the last hand.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Selvin Modley from the Chatsworth Concerned Citizens. To the leadership, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to engage in this meeting. Chair, I was going to take you back to Chatsworth. Chatsworth, pre-1994, 90% of our people voted for transformation. There was a new government, the ANC. 90% of people from Chatsworth voted the ANC. As the years came up to now, people has lost faith. People has lost faith is because of all my colleagues here. I agree with my colleagues I don't want to reiterate what they have said. But I'm going to take you back into Chatsworth, what we do in Chatsworth, the Chatsworth Concerned Citizens. Let's talk about social cohesion. Chatsworth social cohesion for the past 14 years. My colleagues here, Brandon Pillay, Comrade Ravi Pillay, if he's here, knows what we do in Chatsworth. I'm one of the strongest coordinators in terms of social cohesion in Chatsworth. The social cohesion in Chatsworth, what we brought about is through sports. The sports was funded solely by us as business people, by our community leaders, and our sports legends by promoting sports in our youth. So coming to the sports, for the last year, we were disappointed about the sports. We used the stadium, our Chatsworth Stadium, for the past 13 years in terms of developing sport. Netball, soccer, volleyball, potter sports, all sorts of athletics, they know that. Our Chatsworth Rising Sun paper will vouch for what we have been doing. But sir, coming to the last year, Vusi Masibuku has put a 16,000 rand tariff that we must pay for our children to use our Chatsworth Stadium. Now, sir, you know, when we had our first soccer in the stadium, our youth, we have from under 6 to under 15. The children came to me and said, Uncle Selvin, thank you for giving us an opportunity to play in our iconic Chatsworth Stadium. That's on record that we have. Sir, that got shattered last year. And I understand in Chatsworth, all our sporting events, all our social events go according to our social calendar of eThekwini. Our youth month is June, that's coming up, where we have sports. August, we have the biggest Women's Month festival at the Chatsworth Youth Center. Ask anybody, they'll tell you, over 500 people. We, from our own pockets, we fund a Women's Month festival for our community of Chatsworth. Then we have 60 days of activism in December with sports, bringing our youth together. And we've created a huge impact on that in Chatsworth. Ask anybody about Selvin Modley and tell you what I do in Chatsworth, coming to that. This is where my heart goes in Chatsworth. I'm here to speak about that. Please, sir, Chatsworth Stadium at one stage, the people should contact Selvin Modley to actually organize the stadium for our social events. Now, that all fell apart. If you can give us the mandate to go, all our social partners in Chatsworth that have these events, they come to me. I live right next door to the stadium. My house is there at the stadium, and I take care of the stadium. Please give us that mandate to allow our communities to make use of our Chatsworth Stadium, our cricket oval, our netball courts, our tennis courts, our swimming pool, whatever is there. Allow us to. I live in the area that I named it Erina Park Sports Estate, right there by the stadium. That's where I live. So coming to, sorry, ma'am.
The last one now.
Okay, ma'am, coming to economic development, our people in Chatsworth are suffering. Lights and water, telephone bills, all are going high. So what we are asking for, the stadium as well, allow our people to create, we want to create like a market there for people to come and sell their goods to supplement an income so they can pay for the services in there. And ma'am, I know it's a short space of time. What I want you all to do is as well, eThekwini municipality, you'll need to look into eThekwini municipality and all the issues that we're having there. Go through and look at the collections. There's only 1/3 of our people in eThekwini are paying for our bills. The rest of them are not. So let's go there and do the collections right in the municipality, get involved there, so the collections go high, so we won't pay any double digits in our tariffs. That's one. And also coming
Thank
to
you, sir.
our hospital, ma'am, hang on, ma'am. Our Anc Kzn hospital, that's the most important part. There's a ward that's closed down in the hospital for the past 3-4 years now. Closed down, not finished, renovated, contracted to the money and ran away. Now what they're doing now, the ambulance service is transporting the patients from Anc Kzn to Clearwood Hospital. They created a ward in Clearwood Hospital. Now, it's overstretched. Our ambulance service at this moment, I phoned for an ambulance last week for a patient. They're telling me they cannot do house calls and they cannot do accidents because there's no ambulances in Chatsworth. So please, look into those things. There's so much here I've got to speak to you about, but
Okay.
I think what we need to call regular meetings, as our colleague said, then we can give you more feedback of Chatsworth.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now allow the coordinator to respond.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Let me start by first and foremost thanking each and every person that make a contribution here this morning. We thank all of you for making your contribution. The ANC can never be angry with anyone. The ANC appreciates its role. We appreciate the fact that when we lead, we are going to have to lead, not only because conditions are good, everything goes the way we wish, but even when conditions are not in our favor, we must still lead. We have engaged and asked for us to have an engagement. We're almost 6 weeks in office. And for some of you may not even know that. We have not even finished 2 months in office. And we have started with these sectoral discussions because it is something we want to do and we're doing it honestly and from the bottom of our hearts. We are engaging with each one and every you with respect. We are engaging with each one of you to listen to you. And we are engaging with you because we do not want to insult anyone in our own discussions. And therefore, in that engagement, we expect the similar to be done on your side. Engage us, be critical, don't mollifying us anything, but exercise respect. When you exercise disrespect, you take away of the essence of the issues you are raising. And I must say there are some this morning that have not exercised the respect of themselves. And for those who don't exercise the respect of themselves, let alone the issues, we will never be angry with the issues. And I said that, and everyone who was listening, I said, don't mollify us. Tell the issues as they are. And we have no problem in that. But when you are disrespecting anybody, when we are casting aspersion, we respect everybody and we respect women. And when you are coming in a platform like this, you pick on the women. And today we have a sketch of GBV. Because men sometimes think they have a license to undermine women. And we will never allow that. And anyone, when you raise issues, raise them with the ANC leadership. And we will not have a problem. And the gentleman sitting over there, starting, in my view, is a disrespect of Angie Mochecha, who is a leader, who is a woman. And we don't want that to happen. If you are raising issues with us, raise issues with us. And we are going to listen to the issues. And I think it's important to clarify that aspect, frank and honest, because it is proper that we engage from an honesty position. There are a lot of issues raised. And we won't answer because this was a session to engage. But we are taking out of these issues, and before I even touch some of the issues, we took serious note of every contribution you are making. And we understand some of those issues are to deal with the issues of the eThekwini municipality. And therefore, we are going to have a process of processing those matters. I won't stand up now because I'm not going to become a populist. And I won't tell you things that you must want to hear and just simply say, as a populist, oh, no, we want to process these matters as the leadership, because there are always three sides in every story. It's not one. There is an allegation, there is a counter, in the middle there is a truth. At times the truth is a hybrid of both. At times the truth stands alone, nakedly, and looking at you, and you have to face it. So we have to process matters, and therefore we will do that. But there are matters, as you say, we will then be engaging. First, there are matters that are affecting NPOs and how they are treated. And I heard those matters, you have presented those matters very well, Dr. Kay, which was the first one who made a contribution. Now, and everyone who may have raised issues that are relating to how are we servicing issues of NPO, charging them for services, and when they are renting properties and assets, it's a matter that one of the pool of those issues we are taking, and we want to see how we can reflect in dealing with those issues, because there are genuine concerns that we are listening to them. The second of those issues are issues that are related to the service delivery issues. Now, this is not a new discussion. And again, I think what is good about when we are listening is that the input I made, I'm not going to repeat it, and it's going to be available, realizes that there are issues of basic service delivery we must deal with. We realize it, we know that. And the president has also gone and appointed a presidential ANCKZN working group to intervene at no lesser level than the president himself. And we have got 6 work streams, 7 in fact, but the 6 are the most core one. There is a work stream that is dealing with issues of governance, finance, and issues of disaster, the work stream 1. And it's dealing with all issues of governance. There is a work stream 2 that is dealing with issues of water and sanitation, relating to all issues of water in ANCKZN. We will understand these issues at different levels. And any person who is a resident in ANCKZN expects to have water, because the Constitution says so. But the reality says, without getting into details, you have the problem of the 1.1 million megaliters that we are getting in ANCKZN, which is being curtailed because of the high abstraction rate by the Department of Water and Sanitation, which has to be reduced, about 90,000 megaliters a day. So we won't bore you because we are now seized with those issues. We want to ensure that the issue of water is improved and the issues of maintenance. You have got a 54% non-revenue loss of water in ANCKZN. So the details, some of them now, we are aware of those details. So what are we doing? Is to try and fix it. Some of it cannot be fixed overnight, irrespective of where your view is. You know, it requires the issue of the lower Umkomazi dam in 2027. Then the long term, the upper Umkomazi in 2032. But we are going to have continuous engagement because there are genuine and objective constraints that are there. There may be subjective things that we need to fix quicker. So we are going to continuously engage you because we must tell you. I said we must have accountability sessions. We're going to have to call ratepayers and others to those, and civil society, to those accountability sessions to give you detailed briefings where this is, and then you engage. We don't fear engaging. And we will engage because we will engage from an informed position. And we will listen to you as well because this is our city. And we all have a reason to have a view in it. So there are those basic service delivery issues. Then we'll deal with it. We took note of some of the issues you are raising. Now, one of the things I must say, we have to be co-creators and not adversaries. Anyone who chooses to be an adversary, who chooses to want to be an adversary of an ANC, that is his or her own business. Our approach of this morning is to be co-creators, Those who say to us, go and meet on the ground, we are here because after 30 years we have not, we accept that we have been governing this country. We have done good, but we still are also challenges there. So we're not simply saying this thing is hunky-dory. The ANC is not taking that approach. It's not a high horse, riding horse approach. It's a humbled approach that recognizes that we have taken major strides in this country in the last 30 years to advance and to have a better life that is better than what we were in 1994. But also there are areas where we are not there as yet. So those need to be fixed. So in the build-up towards the national dialogue, which is one of the reasons, not this reason that because we lost. Yes, we might talk about renewal. We are saying there are new challenges facing us now, and we therefore must all discuss how do we fix all of them. How do we all fix all, but we must all participate. Now, we have a national dialogue that is coming. And in part, we want us to then start a process of discussion across all sectors of society. So coming here is to empower you, then to disempower you. When we say we must become co-creators, it's because we want us to work together. But if you feel you don't want to work with us, this is democracy. We will respect your view. But we will not insult you, or will not undermine or use derogatory terms against anyone. And we're not angry. We're Democrats. So I'm simply then saying, colleagues, compatriots and friends, now there are issues relating to rates and our properties. We have taken all of those. And I heard you very well. And I must appreciate that yours is a well-reasoned kind of input, like many of that actually happened here. Now, what we will do on those matters, we will then, because we have got a process, a way of processing them, we will then be able to engage, also do this comparative analysis and the study and the benchmarking, and see where are we, why are we much more expensive than others, if we are expensive, and what needs to be done. Because we really want to be a responsive government. And the ANC, because there's a separation between the party and the state, Ms. Skuman, we understand there are things that the ANC can do, but the ANC cannot be able to tell the NPA and the justice criminal system how the judges should decide on matters. There's a separation of powers. The day we do that, it will be the constitution that my brother was reading, we will take it and throw it into the Indian Ocean, and we shall not do so. We are the constitutionalists that respect the Constitution. And therefore, we're going to do things that requires us, but then we will then support other organs of state to do their work independently and without being influenced. Because we just must be able to know that the justice system must work in this country. So the long and short of what we're saying, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, is that the issues you have raised, we have listened to you very well. And even of those that I may not be responding to them, including the accountability of our leadership. The issues were raised about those who are elected by the ANC and sent by the ANC into structures of government. But we are not even only limiting to them, even to us as ANC leaders. We all must be accountable. Everyone must account. And when the ANC says I'm the provincial coordinator of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, it means I must account. Because the things I do must be the things that actually inspires and restore hope. Not only to ANC members, but to society as a whole. Because the one mistake we can make is our understanding who the ANC. One gentleman said we don't even understand ourselves. Now the question, who is the ANC? It's a pity, I think he has left. I don't think he's around. I would have loved to actually help him a little bit. The ANC is not necessarily its leaders. The ANC is not necessarily its structures. The ANC is not necessarily its members, the total sum of its members and leaders and structures. The ANC is society at large. When we that have actually inspired hope and led the democratic project in the whole country, if we collapse to a point of there is no resilient of thinking of the ANC, we're not saying we're the only ones. We're not arrogant to that extent. But we're simply saying, if we were to think about the stability in KwaZulu-Natal, we could have easily gone the other way around. We have lost power. We're sitting at 17%. We could have allowed anyone else. But the first thing in our minds, we will not allow anyone who's going to create any sense of instability. We would rather humble ourselves, accept the democratic outcome, and work with the other parties to create stability. That is that ANC, because this is the ANC that thinks beyond its internal interest, it's solely its own interest, narrow and subjective interest. It has to think in the interest of the country as a whole. And we are simply saying, ladies and gentlemen, we know we have made our own missteps, and I said that in my input, and we recognize those missteps. And therefore, we are all urging you that let's become co-creators of this new future. We have dealt with the past that we have created democracy. We now have new challenges that still require everyone to participate. We are opening our arms and our doors to work with everyone. And that those who are willing to work with us, so work with us. And we're not simply then arguing that we are even working with our competitors in the political game. Because we understand that this country belongs to all of us who live in this country. And that is the attitude we are adopting. So as I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, the conclusion we are saying, this is not the end, but the beginning of an engagement on many, many engagements. We will then be engaging first and foremost through our own subcommittees. We have got a local government intervention subcommittee whose primary purpose is to intervene in municipalities. We are preparing our own summit where we are doing currently as we speak an assessment of all our municipalities, including those that we don't govern, all of them in KwaZulu-Natal, with the sole purpose that we do not want to act on the basis of hunch or feeling. We want to act on the basis of the facts before us. In our 6 weeks, we're hard at work. We hardly sleep. And we want to welcome, therefore, be able to be thankful to you for taking time, for being with us here. You are one of those sectors we have met with. We started with professionals. We then engaged with the religious sector. We then engaged with the traditional leaders. We then engaged with business. And then yesterday, and today we're engaging with you. So we're still going to engage with the women's sector as women, because women have a lot of issues. And the ANC says we must engage with women and the empowerment of women in society, and removing the stereotype and the patriarchal and face the patriarchal tendencies that at times are very prominent. So we must deal with those issues. We must engage the youth as a sector, and there were issues raised about the youth. So we'll be engaging young people as young people, and therefore to say how to empower them going forward. And we're going to be engaging with senior citizens as senior citizens. And then, of course, we will also engage with other facets of society, such as your LGBTI+, Q+, and also the people living with disabilities and others. So this process of engagement is an honest one that says we are heading towards a national dialogue. Please let all participate in rebuilding our country, in renewing our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Coordinator. We'll now invite the provincial fundraiser, Comrade Nomakuku, to do the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mamwezi. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us. I wish to stand on the protocol that has been observed. It is indeed 12 o'clock, so I shouldn't take more than 3 minutes in thanking you because we have had a number of engagements, and Comrade Mabuya Kulu has spoken on our behalf and indicated what is it that we are going to do. Comrade Mike, however, did request that I respond to certain issues that he feels were directly asked of the ANC. And I happen to know the deployee of the ANC in the Department of Health. So he has requested that I do respond to a few of the issues that were raised there. However, before I do so, I want to firstly, on behalf of the African National Congress, thank all of you, comrades and colleagues, for having woken up early and in this rainy day to come and join us and beat traffic. You know, it is ordinarily eThekwini traffic is quite bad, but on a day like this, really, it takes quite a serious commitment for you to be here. And majority of you arrived very early. When I arrived here, 8:05, there were people that were sitting already on the tables. We appreciate that. It shows that you are committed to coming and engaging. We appreciate those that engaged with the respect that Comrade Mike was talking to. We also appreciate those that spoke, because in as much as we might not have liked your tone, but we did take the message that you were actually presenting to us, and we are going to be following on all that has been brought up. As a result of your thoughtful input, this has been a highly insightful and intellectually stimulating meeting of minds. We do not take for granted the time you have sacrificed to come and engage with the African National Congress. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to begin acknowledging all the civil society organizations that are represented here today. Majority of the Ratepayers Association that we saw, I think we appreciated the fact that most of you are here. Of course, it ended up this session being more about eThekwini than what the ANC in the province should and is about to do. We expect that, I suppose, because we are in eThekwini and matters that will be raised would have been around that. But we had thought that it would be an engagement that talks to the whole province. Of course, eThekwini is the metro of the African National Congress, and if you don't raise that matter with ourselves, who else are you going to raise it with? So we are happy and we acknowledge, and we will definitely do some work, as Comrade Mike has indicated. We want to give you the confidence that the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal is undergoing a serious process of renewal, and renewal is not a slogan. I know someone earlier on indicated that we keep on saying renewal, renewal, renewal as a slogan. It is not a slogan. Unfortunately, we are faced with a situation where we either renew ourselves or die as an organization. And if we don't accept that as the ANC, nobody else should. No, nobody else will. So yes, it is renewal. It is something that you might have heard before, but it is something that we have to do. And in renewing yourself as an organization, you start by conducting an introspection. We have conducted an introspection, and us coming here to yourselves is as a result of that introspection. An introspection that was saying, in operating in the past 20, 25, 30 years, we have not been engaging with civil society in a manner that we should have been engaging. And that is why we are here today. So yes, we have to go back to our branches at some point, and we will do so. But the purpose of this meeting is not to speak to ourselves as the ANC. It is the ANC speaking to civil society, because civil society is where the African National Congress started, and this is exactly what Comrade Mike was saying. So for those who think we might be wasting time in meeting in boardrooms like this, meeting in hotels, meeting with civil society, we do not believe so. We believe this is as a result of our own introspection, because we will have an opportunity to speak to ourselves. And that's a lifetime thing that we do, but we also have a responsibility to speak to the different sectors, and civil society is one of those sectors. Definitely, we will be coming to the different areas to now speak to civil society in different wards. Majority of you have invited the African National Congress to come in your different spaces, see what is happening, come walk around with you. We will be able to do that, or we will be doing that. We will continue with the work that we have started here today. This was starting the work at a high level, and the work will have to continue going towards the different wards and different regions of our province. You have raised critical issues, you have asked tough questions, and you have also offered practical ideas and solutions. And I did hear quite a number of proposals that were being made in the meeting, and we really took them up as the leadership. We want to assure you that whatever proposals that were made are not going into a vacuum. We are indeed taking them with us to ensure that we bring about the change that is required by the people of KwaZulu-Natal, or the people of eThekwini, but the people of KwaZulu-Natal in general. We are therefore deeply honored and encouraged by your presence, contributions, and willingness to work with the African National Congress. We listened to a young lady saying she is here to offer her services. Myself and Comrade Nte, who's the Speaker of the Provincial Legislature, we said the first person we must go to after this is her, because we are very passionate about working with young women in particular. We believe that we have a responsibility, while we have a responsibility to develop people and women in general, but young women are a very serious passion of ours. And we are not going to her because we are pointing her out. She says to us, I am here, use me. So, you know, any other person who said that, we would be having a beeline towards you. But she offered herself, hey, sizosebenza nawe. Uzozuyisole. So siyabonga kakhulu as the African National Congress that all of you came. And you are not the only one, by the way, who indicated willingness to work with the ANC. Definitely, all of those we will be talking to, we will be going around the tables when we have our proper, well, I don't know if we must still call it breakfast. It's probably going to have to be brunch now. So when we have our brunch, we'll be going around the tables to be talking to all of you to say, we are here, what is it that we can do? We want to work with civil society. We want to work with civil society. And the invitations that we have received from the different ratepayers, definitely welcomed. And you will hear us. Chairperson of Mhlanga Ratepayers Association, when you were talking there, the speaker says, that's a man after my heart. I'm going to go and talk to him right now. So don't worry, when she comes to you, you must be ready, because she's you are one of the people she identified. There's quite a number of people. I want to also engage with the ratepayers no. It's the Chatsworth, that's where Anc Kzn is, ne? It's the Chatsworth concerned citizens. We will talk and have a proper engagement about what is happening there and what is it we can do together. That's the important thing that we want to take out, a takeaway that we need from yourselves. What is it that we can do together to improve the different areas of our development? The leadership of the ANC is only but a few people. Any program, any policy implementation will have to be done through yourselves. And majority of you have said, we are here, come use us. We will definitely do so. There is an issue that was raised on clinics, I think it's a verulem. From what you were saying, for majority of the clinics we are talking about are, or they belong to the Metro of eThekwini. We will raise the matter with the Metro and see what is it that they are not doing. It's not correct, and it shouldn't be the case that they are not staffing clinics because they say the province is going to take them over. Remember, when the province takes them over, it will take them over with the staff anyway. So they should be able to actually get staff there and work so that when that is done eventually, it is done with the staff. But I want to correct one thing, and I wouldn't want us to live here with a perception that is incorrect. There was a comment that was made that says women should take their medication so that we stop transfer of mother to child infection. That is not true. You know, in the society, if there are any people who are not taking treatment for anything, but HIV in particular, it's men. It's men. And that is the program esinayo to say, how do we get men to come to clinics, to come to hospitals? Because men end up dying through diseases that don't have to kill them only because they present themselves very late. Right now, as this province, our rate of transmission is 0.03%, which means it's close to non-existent, which means women are taking their treatment, which means HIV positive women are taking their treatment. With that said, we want everyone to take their treatment. But I just thought we need to clarify that, because it leaves something that, we might go out with a perception that is not correct. But abantu besilisa must come to hospitals. What is wrong with men? That's another discussion we are going to have with yourselves. Kodwa-ke, I'm now using a wrong platform to ask this particular question. It's you who got me to use a different hat when I'm in a different platform. Issues of two hospitals were raised, Anc Kzn and Wentworth Hospital. It's unfortunate that the EMS in Anc Kzn would say there's not enough of them, and therefore it's better to take patients to escort. We will talk with yourselves about this matter, and we will have to address it. Clarewood is one of our best hospitals right now. It is best because during COVID, when monies came and we were requested to put up Field Hospital, as the ANC government, we took a decision not to do so. Comrade Nomsa was the premier. As the ANC, we said, you can't take money and put it in a field hospital that's going to be dismantled in 2 years' time. We then said, take that money and go and renovate your own facilities. And Clarewood is one of those hospitals that are renovated. And it's one of the best that we have. So it's important, and it's actually utilizing the services and your money correctly. So we will talk about what is it that are being said and how do we correct that. Issue of Wentworth indeed is a problem that we are having here, Wentworth, and we are not sure at this point what is the issue. But a month ago, I visited Wentworth because I wanted to address that matter primarily. We have implemented, or we have appointed a board. I am having a meeting with the chairs on the 22nd, Tuesday, next week Tuesday, to get a report to say, what did they find when they got to Wentworth, and how do we correct that? The issue of the DCMH, well, DCMH is not a government institution, I think you are aware. It is an NGO that is partly funded by the Department of Health, but mostly funded by social development. At some point, government was considering withdrawing its funds from that NPO, because the funds are not utilized in a manner that it should be utilized at. But the parents were the first ones who ran to court and said, if you take our children to your own hospital, we are going to take you to court. Now, government is caught in a situation where it must decide whether it withdraws its funds and leave the NPO to its own devices, or what happens. And we can't do that, because once we do that, we are going to have our second ECD money, and government is not willing to have that. But what we will do, Comrade Mabuya Kulu will call the deployees. Actually, there's only just one. Remember, we're in a government of provincial unity now. So you can't say you'll call all the deployees, because ANC no longer has all deployees. But there is one deployee that is impacted there. We will have to have an engagement with her, see what is it that can be done. But I want to say to yourselves and those that are living in that particular area, the problem we have there is management of an NPO. Mamwezwe, as she used to be in that space. The problem we have there is management of an NPO that every time reminds you that, by the way, we are not government, you can't tell us what to do, despite the fact that they are funded by government. With that said, we wish to really appreciate your attendance, we appreciate your comments, we appreciate your solutions, which we are taking to heart, and whatever has been said and engaged here, rest assured, is not just going to be utilized in eThekwini, because remember, we are leading the province. So whatever has been said will also be used in other regions, so that we don't have a similar situation moving forward. Thank you very much for affording us this opportunity. Thank you very much for saying to us you are available and you want the ANC to work and use you in doing the work. We will definitely do so. Breakfast is served. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Mina nje magugu wena